Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
John, I've got two greetings.
Okay.
You have to make your mind between which one. Mm-hmm. One is this, blah, and the other one is, oh.
For both our vampire and Lycan listeners.
Yeah, see, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a long road getting here, but we were always headed in this direction, right, Brendan?
Yes, we were.
We were always headed towards...
Not since the days of House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein, have we had such a monster mashup. We did also have the House of Frankenstein 90s TV movie. Remember that one?
Oh, that was just glorious, man. What a thrilling, amazing piece of filmmaking that was.
And Monster Squad.
Oh, well, okay.
Children's film.
Love Monster Squad. I'll take Monster Squad over the vast majority of Monster Rally movies. It's really, really good.
And I would take it over this. Sorry.
No, I would take it. I mean, that's not at least not to me. I love Monster Squad. So
John, he's apologizing to me.
He's apologizing to.
Oh, the mystery voice.
That's right. We've brought in. We needed backup on this. We needed some. I think we needed somebody who's a little bit more invested than us in this.
Yeah.
I feel like between the three of us, it's a. It's all generally on the mostly positive side, but I feel like it's a steady upward trend of enthusiasm for this franchise.
Yeah, yes, I think it's good to bring in an extra voice, someone who is a true believer who loves it a lot. At the same time, I don't think we're gonna be punching this movie in the face too much.
No, because once again, in the at least in the context of this show, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Solid film.
We have Mike Gorgone with us, who this is our first Underworld movie, and you are going to be doing the whole ride with us for the Underworld.
Because, Brendan, I reject your binary choice, and I choose to walk a third path.
Are you saying that you're also a midnight blue-skinned vampire wolf?
I'm just saying.
I'm a non-binary Underworld fan.
We're going to get into it in the sequels, but there is a third path of immortal that we will dig into.
Oh, sure.
To tell you the truth, I know, and they're introduced in this movie.
It's true.
What do they become known as? I'm sure there's a name for
the Corvinus bloodline.
Oh, the Corvinus. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Which is, Crow. I could definitely see why Corvinus would be the name of a guy who's anyway. Well,
I would love it if the Crow came into this franchise.
Eric Draven! Oh my God!
Actually, aesthetically, he would slip in with no issue whatsoever.
He and Neo should be walking these same streets.
Well, there's
along
a lot.
With Selene.
We'll talk about the Venn diagrams of like the triplicate circle of the Crow, the Matrix, and a certain RPG company that comes in to create this film.
I'm really glad you're here, Mike, for that, because
I know that was a big reason you wanted to be on here.
I attended a panel at San Diego Comic-Con years ago. And got to hear someone in the audience basically accuse Kevin Giroux of, or if that's how you pronounce it, of stealing the whole thing from White Wolf. And I got to hear his very deep voice telling everybody, it's like, well, there's a lawsuit. It's going to be resolved. And it's not true. I didn't steal anything. And everyone in the audience...
the name of the movie we're talking about?
Oh, have I said it's 2003's Underworld?
Sorry. Yeah,
a movie that here's my big thing about this movie, and I remember this when it came out at the time, is just everything about this movie is just going like, John, you're gonna love this. This is all the things you like in a movie. And my feeling at the time and watching it again the other day was it's fine. It's pretty good. I don't know. I just it just feels like, but it feels like they put all of like nerddom into a blender. And you get this, and it is pretty fun. But I
also felt it was aimed at me, and I had my personal issues with it, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, that's right. This movie in a roundabout way damaged a project you were developing. So
yeah, I did go to it with an open mind because the trailers looked good, and like you just said, John, it was aimed right at me, and you could tell beyond monster movie fandom. And Kevin Giroux admits all this stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm a big comics guy. He's basically taking the names Craven and Selene. Yeah. He's like going, well, obviously I read Marvel. And you're like, yeah, clearly.
I mean,
it's a comic book movie
it's
too.
a very
so,
comic book movie. It's very much an action movie. That was very. I remember at the time it being like, well, I do like monsters, but what if they had guns now?
Yeah,
fascinating.
man, I'm just saying it right now. Lon Chaney would have been much more frightening if he had a fucking Uzi.
And of course, the biggest thing in the room was at this time I was and mostly continue to be just a fucking Matrix obsessive. Like, just it is so that I was part of that generation firmly. That was just blew my mind and took everything.
Dude, I don't think that's generational.
Well,
that
I think
was literally a landmark film.
It was, but I'm just saying, like, it was where it was like
filmmaking.
as an up and coming like real film nerd, and just I remember being younger and just embracing that so much. And we've talked about.
Is that why you had your black leather duster that you walked around in?
I didn't have the black leather duster. I think I did talk about on here that I did get the replica of Keanu's sunglasses though, and I was.
Oh, there you go.
You know, high school me was walking around with the fucking wraparound shades, and I had all the toys and the posters and all that. I mean, I was so. This movie though is so. Like I said, we mentioned The Crow, we mentioned The Matrix, like. Just the aesthetics of it are so 2003.
There is a third pillar of influence that we must not neglect, and that is the fact that the first two Blade films have come out.
Yes,
as well.
I think that's something that damage that's something where in comparison this does pale. It is not in terms of like supernatural action film. It's nowhere near as good as the first two Blade movies.
I'm going to go my hot take before we even get into it. And it's not a hot take.
Wesley Snipes is hotter than Kate Beckinsale. Agreed.
Oh, boy. Man, if there was one person in this world born to wear latex suits, it's her. But anyway, this is what I'll say. I actually think there's a lot of strength here, and I enjoyed it. And I will say the two things that are strikes, in my opinion, against this movie. Yeah. I'm not saying franchise because literally I can't even quite. I did watch the second and the third, I think, but I can't even remember. Yeah. But here's the thing. I think the two main strikes, and your mileage may vary, but it's a little overlong.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there going like, it needs to be edited down.
It clocks in at like an even 2 hours. It probably could have been better at like an hour 40.
Right. And I think that one of the big strikes against this being something that literally we're still talking about today. I mean, we are talking about it today, but it is the aesthetics. Weirdly, I think the aesthetics hurt this film.
Well, I think they're not unique to this film is a little bit.
They're not unique to this film, but they also, even The Matrix has scenes very specifically set in our world or real lighting. I mean, here and there, and it's just to break it up. Right. This is cartoonishly goth. This is cartoonishly. Every scene is blue lit, sunless and rainy. You're like, there are real people in this world, right? That go to work 9 to 5 and things like that. Let's see a little bit of that because we got to balance it out.
What do you mean? We have Wentworth Miller as that doctor. That's our one, like, real.
Yeah,
I disagree on this point, Brendan, because I think this movie doesn't go far enough.
Wow! Holy shit!
I think this movie.
Are you ready to rumble?
Restrained in its use of rain and gargoyles and shadows and leather.
You are being purposely contrary because you can't really believe that.
Okay.
It's already a cartoon of what people would do if they were mocking goth aesthetics.
I would like to read you a description from White Wolf Games' description of the World of Darkness. Hold on, John, just brace yourself because I think
this has no bearing since they settled out of court, by the way. They did not base anything in this movie on White Wolf.
All right. Wink, wink. So, to give the listeners a little bit of background, White Wolf Gaming created a series of tabletop RPGs called The World of Darkness.
And
that included Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, and Mage the Ascension. Those are like 3 games that all deal with different thematic things within this like gothic fantasy urban setting.
When did those come out? Because obviously that was before this movie, which is hence the controversy.
Right. These like 80s, 90s? Those games were produced in the early 90s. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe specifically the first game, which was Vampire the Masquerade,
which is probably the most
was in '91.
That's got to be the most well-known and mainstream of them, right? Because even I
Yeah,
know Vampire
easy.
the Masquerade.
Because it also ended, I mean, it was the most successful. It went on to be video games, and it went on to have its own TV series.
Yeah.
The Kindred, right? That's totally based on it. I watched that.
We've talked about covering that in some capacity. We've talked about covering anything related to monsters.
Well, with the Kindred, it wouldn't be long because it lasted.
No, that would be one of those Patreon miniseries that we do.
Yeah,
but so here's the basic description of the overtone for that RPG.
Which I do want to. I do before you say that though. I just want to state this is not an adaptation of that though. Obviously, so. Well, but it's not. It's not expressly. I'm saying you can't have it both ways and go. It's ripping this off, but it's also not enough like it. I just want that out there. Go ahead.
Sure, fair enough. So, as described here, it says, the world is a reflection of our own. It's still Earth with the same countries, the same people in power, a Starbucks on every corner. However, it is nonetheless a worse place. People care a little less. The boot on your neck grinds a little deeper. Gargoyles peer down uncaringly from nearly every edifice, and even as the skeletal fingers of those skyscrapers stretch further into the heavens, this is the quote-unquote gothic aspect that they're trying to capture. And I think that is something this movie does so little with that could be capitalized on more in terms of just the overbearing grim dark aesthetic of we can have packs of werewolves and vampires opening fire on each other in a subway platform
with no cops
and have no cops show up.
Here's what I'll say that kind of lands between you guys is I think you're actually saying the same thing, which is the movie is a middle ground between those two visions. And I think had it leaned more one way or the other, Brendan, I would like to see it lean more the way you're talking about, where it truly is the underworld, the hidden thing where it's like a totally normal world, and then this. But
we never knew this war was happening.
But I agree with you, Gorgone,
that
they want to have their cake and eat it too, and do that. But so it's like it either needs to be complete fantasy world, and a movie that we will talk about many episodes from now that I think does a way better job of the vampire world is Daybreakers, the Ethan Hawke movie, where that is no, this is a world controlled by vampires, completely. Society's been reshaped.
I do agree. I actually, Gorgone, you're right. I mean, if that was their intent, which is basically Gotham, you have to accept it's this is a real world with real people. That daylight happens, but it is a heightened reality.
That sounds
if they wanted to
like
do
a Tim Burton movie, yeah.
Yes, they needed to make the central character actually. Oh crap! What's his name?
Oh,
our hero,
Michael.
Scott Speedman.
Michael Corvin. Yeah,
Michael Corvin. They needed to make him the central character because then we would have an entry we know what the world is like through him, normal world, and then he gets drawn into it. But we're immediately Selene is our POV character, and so we never get a sense of what is this world like.
That is an interesting choice because it really Michael is the most interesting character because of where he fits in this thing, but he is not.
But he doesn't know anything, so we have to have all this VO,
and that's fine.
But
it's
Selene.
But it's all about, and so much of this movie. I mean, let's shift that to talk about the poster.
The war has been going on for 1,000 years, and it's still bad.
Well, because let's just talk about this. I mean, this whole movie was sold as a Kate Beckinsale vehicle. Sure, they're both name above title, but he's not even on this poster, Speedman.
Nope.
It's all her. This poster was the poster for 10 different movies basically that came out.
Yes.
Almost this exact same pose. Do you remember the Birds of Prey show on the WB?
Yes.
Same poster. Exact same poster. I mean, because it is I feel like the pitch is almost here. It's what if Trinity but vampire?
Yeah, I mean, what if Trinity but vampire, but also, the way her hair comes down, the way they've desaturated it, she looks like the Crow, a female version.
Very Crow-esque as well, yeah.
And they are just leaning into all of those things. This is
very
also
very superhero-y.
This is also right after, as in the tail end of the period of the comics that were, it was the the Dark Ages, the 90s.
Witchblade.
So she also looks like some of those bad girl comics.
Well, I was thinking like Witchblade
Razor,
or
Razor, and specifically because the face paint.
What was the other, like Witchblade, Fathom? There was a lot of these magic
all that stuff.
warrior women comics. The other thing I was thinking about too is with the black leather and the aesthetic is this is I think the same year that X2 comes out. So also this is just like Hollywood has really latched onto this era, as you're talking about, Brendan, this aesthetic from comic books, and kind of not other ones as much at this moment.
It is all just flowing long coats and leather.
I mean, even the Daredevil, the Elektra that's in the Daredevil movie that came out at this time has this. It's all black leather.
You mean the definitive?
Hey man,
Elektra.
She's coming back. I never thought I'd see that in my life. But,
yay, multiverse.
And depending on how long the writers and actors strike goes on, we may still not. So
that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
but you need to point out she's standing on that cornice or whatever that is, and behind her's a full moon. There's a shadow of a werewolf on the moon.
I'm sorry. What's that word you're using there?
Oh
Brendan?
no,
they say werewolves in the movie.
But I'm not familiar.
They say it in the movie,
but they say it to Speedman in like a I guess that's what a layman would call them.
We call them Lycans. You know, like the types of fungus that grow on trees.
Yeah, the whole movie, Gorgone, you and I were talking about this the other day. That the whole movie is definitely in that like too cool for school thing where it's like, these aren't werewolves, man. That's lame. These are Lycans. Saying werewolves are silly. And the only time we are going to say it is when that dumb human calls them werewolves stupidly because he doesn't know better.
This movie does feel like someone read comics and also played RPGs because they try to work in so much lore. Yeah. And I know that's why you love it, Mike. I know that's why you love this series, and that's okay. You're a gamer, and I love that about you.
This movie has
video game
deep
influence.
Lore that I crave.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Some of that lore is really dumb.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
When we get to that whole thing about, the mutated genes and shit, and way back in the plague, and one guy got bitten by a bat. The other guy got bitten by a wolf, and then the third guy didn't get bit. And I'm like, what is with this family and these animal bites? And also, if they were bitten by a bat, then why aren't they turning into bats?
Also,
the guy got bitten by a wolf could turn into a wolf.
Well,
Come on, man.
The guy swallowed a bat to catch the fly, and then he had to swallow a cat to catch the bat, and then he swallowed the wolf to get the
I'm telling you,
classic conundrum.
Oh yeah, man, it's
that's why that one person was bitten by an old lady, and he's able to turn into an old lady by the light of the moon.
But even just the script, like when it gets to that, and at a certain point, I am sitting there just going like, boy, they are just reading history to me. It's really clumsily done. World building because it is just like, well, stop the movie. Here's what's going on. All right.
The one thing I think is really ballsy
about the runtime.
Clearly, they spent some money.
Oh, God, yeah. It looks, but the movie does look great. I mean,
yeah, it does. I will say this, even though the aesthetic is, I think, a hindrance to it being
the aesthetic is
more seriously.
I also think it's dated. It's so 2003.
Yeah, but I will say this movie is well shot, well edited. Yeah, I'm like, this looks good.
We haven't talked about Len Wiseman, who is the director of this movie and one of the co-writers.
I so wish we could have Paul F. Tompkins on here to do as Len Wiseman. So I said to Kate, after we finish filming, how about we have a sex party? That's the whole thing. Is the sex party?
Yes, the big
movie.
This is his feature directorial debut,
and he's solid.
Like a lot of guys, he had come from music videos. He'd done a lot of the Megadeth videos.
Sure, and I bet they're all shot in blue light.
Sure.
Reds and oranges mostly, but yes,
okay. All right.
Yeah, actually, we're talking to the right guy if we're talking about Megadeth as well. But
a spin-off band from Metallica, yes.
Len Wiseman,
you are the perfect guest for this. I feel really good.
Len Wiseman, though, was like the hot director for a period of time. And I do love Live Free or Die Hard, which he made, which I think is the best of the Die Hard sequels. It fucking
that's a low bar there, John.
Oh no, disagree. 2 and 3 are also great. I think the first 4 Die Hards are all incredibly solid, and 5 is a hot garbage. But then he has not directed a film since 2012 when he firmly got put in director jail for that Total Recall remake.
Oh yeah,
I forgot that even happened.
That was bad, real bad. Yeah. Don't.
So no more sex parties.
Well, I mean, no more. He also divorced Kate Beckinsale, so that would be
man.
Well, and on this
that
movie,
is a downward spiral.
Of course, the tab. He's actually found his way back a little bit in TV. He did direct that Swamp Thing TV show that was unfairly canceled, which was great. Did he just direct? Yeah, he's back out of director's jail, isn't he? I didn't realize he was directing this. He's directing the first of the John Wick spinoffs, Ballerina, which is the Ana de Armas starring one about the school of ballerina assassins. All right, I'll see that.
Okay.
I'm going to see that. All right, maybe he can. I do think he's a good director. Regardless of, I do think Total Recall was bad, but I'm not sure it's like, I don't think it's bad enough that I'm like, I don't ever want to see what this guy would do again.
I think he has a lot of cheese in his system, but it's not, that's not bad because cheese can be very entertaining.
Especially
the guy can do an action sequence.
Yep.
The guy can frame a really nice shot. So, I mean, I'm not going to slam him.
No, the tabloid thing about this movie too, of course, is that when this movie started, Kate Beckinsale was married to Michael Sheen, and by the end of it, she was married to Len Wiseman. So there was also a lot of press about that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Kate Beckinsale for a moment.
I'm ready.
I mean, on the Underworld episode, okay, Gorgone, I guess that's a tangent. No.
There is a thesis, or not a thesis, a hypothesis that I want to test over the course of this franchise.
Yeah.
Because I have assigned myself to the long haul where it is sort of, but like the question I want to keep coming back to as we continue this series is Kate Beckinsale a good actor? Because I'm not sure I know the answer to that question.
No, this is something I was thinking while watching it too. I've never thought she's. I'll give you this, and I think this is what you're talking about, Grant. I don't think she's a bad actor. I don't think she's a bad actor.
Okay.
But I can't say I've ever really seen her in anything where I thought she was really good either. She's always generally fine.
I was watching
basically
this film,
competent.
Sure, but what brought this question to light for me was I was watching this film and trying to come at it at a more, let's say, critical eye. I pride myself in my ability to maybe try to turn off the fan brain sometimes.
Sweep the nostalgia of being a teenager and seeing
and I think that's admirable.
Yeah.
And this is a movie that I've literally never watched with a critical eye before. It's always been like, yeah, hot chicks in leather and guns and vampires and werewolves, oh my.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But
I mean, and that's actually, I think, how the makers would like you to watch it. So, yeah.
Sure, absolutely. That was their elevator pitch.
Yeah. That's the intended vision. I understand that.
Yeah.
But this time around, I was watching it more with the eye of just like from a critical filmmaking perspective and like a performance perspective of just like what drew us to performances like ones we saw in The Matrix and Blade isn't necessarily because of like dazzling acting talent, but because of like extremely slick action on top of competent acting and a couple of great acting
and
bits
also
in both of those films.
Also, like, you know, and Gorgone was here for the thing that turned into a two-parter about Dracula, but say what you will about Keanu Reeves, a movie star presence.
Sure. He's got a certain charisma.
No, again, here's the thing. On this subject, and I think it is just kismet that this is, I mean, she had been around, but this is the thing that really breaks her as megastar. And I think it is the Keanu Reeves story. It is the exact same. Keanu Reeves is not a great actor. He is a very engaging screen presence who can be used very well in certain things. And I think Kate Beckinsale is the same way. I agree with you, Mike. Watching this, first time I've watched it in years and years and years, because I don't return to this series. But I was sitting there going like, oh, yeah, she's not great.
No.
She is very, very compelling to watch.
Yeah.
And there are scenes that she knocks out of the park, but there are also things where you're like, ooh, that's a little weak.
And her physicality is great. I'm not just talking about how she looks in the leather. I mean, like, how she performs. She's very good. There's a reason this kind of spun her into being the action girl in movies, right?
Some of the choreography in this also helped her. Like, there's the very first, literally the very first thing where she jumps off the building after doing her narration and lands. And their idea of the way a vampire woman lands is not where there's not a lot of gravity. In other words, she doesn't do that sink superhero thing where the hands hit the pavement. Instead, she just sort of like barely kneels and then is immediately walking. She immediately walks. And I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
And she looks amazing doing it.
Sure.
So I think there's a thing with her. She's definitely a movie star. And she's definitely, like, you're going to look at her and you're going to go, God.
But I do think
genetics.
I do think if you look at her career, I do think you watch it peter out, and we talk about her over on the action shelf now. That's where she's landed because she doesn't.
I saw some of the indie British films that she made before she became action lady, and she was always pretty and fine.
Yeah, but like she's all right in Much Ado About Nothing. The Brana.
Yeah, she ain't gonna blow anyone's socks off. But she's not.
Give us a couple weeks though, and we'll be talking about her in Van Helsing, where I think she is actively very bad.
Okay, well,
there's lots of actively very bad things about that film.
There are things.
We agree, Mike. We agree.
Well, that's why we're having Elliot.
That being said, I do love that film.
What?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same camp with it. I love it in spite of its faults, but we are going to have Elliot on that episode who loves it.
Oh, good.
And I don't think we'll acknowledge any faults.
Then I will fight for the faults.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Anyway, back to this though. Well, the Kate Beckinsale thing of it, yes.
Yeah, the Kate Beckinsale of it all is that I think her performance in this movie is. I don't want to say wooden because I think there is a performance happening here, but she's playing somebody attempting to come back to life, right? Like that's part of the.
I was going to say, I think it's kind of
movie
designed to be not wooden, but definitely like stoic.
Well, she's the stone cold killer who discovers her heart. Yeah. And also gets hurt throughout the thing because she starts realizing what she believed was wrong and all that stuff.
How many hours has it been since both of you watched this film as of this recording?
A while for me. I had to watch it a couple days ago, so it's been a few days.
It was last night for me.
Okay, and same, Brendan.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fresh in my head.
Yeah.
What is the scene in which Selene learns to like Michael Corvin?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Well, as soon as she takes a look at that face, my friend.
Her very first glimpse of him, they do the like, oh, who's that?
And
as far as actual feelings, you're right. I don't think there's a scene. Yeah. They don't really give us that ever.
Yeah. I was watching it last night, and we got to the bit where she goes back for him, and she's already under orders from Victor to go back and kill him.
Right.
And something makes her change her mind, and for the life of me, I couldn't explain what it was.
It is really interesting, and I think it has to do with the world building of this.
Love is very mysterious, Mike.
And I think Scott Speedman is a good actor who I think honestly the two main characters are kind of boring, both of them. I mean, I really do watch this for Sheen.
Well, they're not the showy.
No, because I watch it like Sheen is the whole thing to me in this.
I love Sheen in this movie.
Sheen and Nye.
Sheen and Nye are and so much so that they eventually give them their own movie.
Her best acting in this movie are scenes, and this is true. We see this all the time. She raises her game, or literally has her game dragged up. Mm-hmm. Anytime she's talking to Victor, and it's Bill Nye, and that's her father figure that she worships. And you can see it's like, oh, yeah, she's doing a character. She's actually reacting to stuff. That's good. And again, I think that's just being in their orbit makes you better. And I think Speedman's also solid and good, and I've never understood why he didn't hit bigger either. He's not magnetic, but I'm like, the guy's solid.
He's always been good. I've liked him.
Scott Speedman's doing just fine.
He's
been
TV,
on 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
he's been
yeah, it's TV. It's TV. No, and that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just he's not in my orbit. I'm using the word orbit a lot. Yeah,
he's always been a good actor, and he's consistently gotten work because he's solid. But yeah, he did seem like a guy who at this point was poised to be like one of the next big movie stars, coming off.
And
of
at the end of this movie, he's the chosen one.
Yeah.
He's the Neo of the Underworld universe.
And I think that's the further thing that adds to. I think he could have been a really interesting protagonist based on the way they chose to structure the script. He kind of gets short shrifted, even though he is really the hero of the franchise.
We don't know who he is.
Yeah.
He's the outsider, gets caught up in this thing, and pretty quickly, not only is he made aware of what's going on, he just spends the rest of the movie going, what's happening to me?
Yeah, I mean,
why are people after me?
Well,
let me explain to you what's going on.
In the Matrix comparison, it would be if Trinity was the main character of the Matrix, and we really saw it from her perspective rather than following Neo down the rabbit hole. Instead, we start in the rabbit hole here.
Yeah,
and it's an interesting thing. Let's. Oh, wait, hang on. I got to talk about taglines.
All right,
because,
I'm ready.
There's going to be some dumb ones probably.
What?
Oh no, they're all pretty simple. An immortal battle for supremacy. There's a simple one.
Yeah.
On September 19th, all hell breaks loose.
I do like September. That's a good month.
Sure.
And then finally we have this fall when the battle begins. Which side will you choose?
Oh,
Superman. Superman over Batman.
By the way, Lycans. I'm 100% on the Lycan side.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know why you would. I mean, you could argue that they have become terrorist freedom fighters and possibly lost track of some morality.
Well, the movie's trying to do the thing where since Selene is our entry character and vampires we just generally kind of like more because they're sexy.
Yeah.
So the movie is relying on that. You're like, this movie she's keeping us safe from all these werewolves, and then we find out, oh no, they're the bad guys. The werewolves are the good guys who've been shat on. They were slaves.
And we'll get a whole movie about that. And it's actually my favorite movie in this
Rise
series.
of the Lycans.
I really like Rise of the Lycans because it is just because it leans into Michael Sheen is the main character. And
famously, though,
past.
John, you like any movie where something rises.
This is true, actually. Yeah, the Owls of Ga'Hoole, Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, Rise of the Guardians. You're also your
movie.
favorite Batman film is Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh, yeah, that's definitely the case.
I get in my digs where I can.
Yeah. Christ, that movie's terrible. Anyway.
I think this movie's like one of its fatal narrative flaws is that choice to start us as our point of view character is a member of an immortal race that feeds on humans, is the quote unquote good guys.
Yeah.
Well, once again, and I think it's something that we talked about the Blade movies, but the Blade movies pull off the thing that you're talking about, Brendan, so much better about, no, the vampires hide in plain sight, and there's the whole thing about and actually there's the whole thing in that way where the female lead of that and Blade is like, no, look over there, that's a vampire club. They want you to ignore it. They want, that stuff is done much more subtly.
So in Blade, though, you've got the Daywalker as your hero,
yes.
and like almost within 5 minutes, he's basically saying, yeah, I'm a vampire, but I'm not. And basically the movie goes out of its way to go, he is the good guy, ladies and gentlemen. He does not drink blood from humans. He's got this blood substitute and all this stuff. I do think so they're going out of their way to go, he's a good dude.
But they're even kind of doing that here. They just don't go out of their way. They just don't ever show her victimize people.
That's true.
But her existence is...
That's what I'm saying.
If you think about it for a second, Selene has killed a lot of people.
That's it exactly. But the movie isn't disputing that. It's just going, I don't even think about it. Like
which is hilarious because they're also going to ask you within the film later when we get her origin. They're going to ask you to be sympathetic to her story of like, my lovely family was massacred. And you're like, well, aren't you doing that to other people's families every time you go out for a snack?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Character work is not fantastic in the script.
Nope.
Something that actually occurred to me while watching this film is never once do we see actually a vampire drain somebody.
No,
I know.
In fact,
it's so fascinating for a movie that is so focused on vampires. You don't show any iconography of the most classic vampire.
No, they only bite each other.
It's werewolves biting vampires, vampires biting werewolves. And also, I will say this, when Victor shows up, I'll also say this in the movie, the makeup is really good.
Really good. I particularly love the design
and
of
the
Victor.
Visuals of the elder vampire coming out mummified and with all the tubes, the feeding tubes. I'm like, that was neat.
We love that.
And very Matrixy, but still.
Well, and very much also kind of similar to, we love the design of Damaskinos, the villain in Blade 2.
Right.
Who was a similar sort of aging vampire. And
the werewolves look pretty good.
This movie,
but they're doing the, let's not spend too much time with the werewolves.
And I think
most of the time they're walking around in their human guise.
Smartly so.
I think there's a couple of like good practical werewolves in this movie. The CG ones obviously are a little shaky.
A little
that's just
shaky,
a product
but still
of
not
the
bad
time.
because of the way they've chosen to. I mean, this is where the aesthetics do come in handy. It's all dark and shadowed, and plus we realize. I mean, she also makes sure to say right at the top, "Oh man, some of these werewolves have been around so long." They don't even need the moon anymore. They can change at will, which basically means no brightly lit full moon scenes of a werewolf.
And also just gets out of the stuff we always are talking about on this show where we're like, hey, man, I don't understand. This is a full moon every night. Why are these werewolves always turning? They just kind of go like, shut up, guys.
I know that, John, you have to have loved all the gadgets.
Oh,
God, and I still think, because this is the first movie...
Is great.
This is before Blade 2, so this is the
no. This is after. We already talked about
You're
Blade
right.
2.
We already did Blade 2. So they did not originate the idea of the ultraviolet bullets. UV bullets.
They did. He had UV grenades. Here, the bullets are new to this, which I did think was really cool. And of course,
the silver
nitrate bullets are awesome.
Yeah,
and whatever her little spinning throwing stars, which are also very Blade. But that stuff is cool as hell.
Yeah,
I love all that shit.
Silver food coloring into the squibs. Perfect.
It is great, and I love that the vampires have a cue basically when he's going like, "Here it is, I've designed new, the pay attention." Yeah, if it was actually
whose
Desmond
name
Llewellyn,
is Khan.
I wish
they go. What is? Well, everyone has these names. I mean,
pay attention.
Kevin Garreau writes this thing and calls himself Rays.
Oh my god!
Is anyone just like? Ted.
So Kevin Garreau.
There's no like Ted or Dave.
Kevin Garreau does
Dave
have
over there, the vampire.
That guy has a super deep voice, but he's turning it up even more, right? In this, or bringing it down.
I'm not sure because
every time
and
he's
maybe he
so
constantly
low.
does it because in that panel, seeing him live, it is down here the whole time.
Well, I mean, I will say though, I've heard people talk about hanging out with Vin Diesel and saying that even in his interviews, put on. Well, it's not all put on, but he definitely like leans more into it. His voice isn't that deep 24/7, and I think it's probably a similar thing where it is just this guy's thing. Now
you think Kevin Garreau goes home and is like, "Oh God, that panel! I didn't think it would ever stop."
No, but his voice is probably like here,
and then he brings it all the way down to here, because
it's
no
ridiculous.
one has a voice that deep. That's insane.
Are you talking about Rays the werewolf? Sorry, Lycan.
I do think he did go on to write comics, and I feel like this movie was just him trying to get into comics, probably.
Well,
and the comics he wrote later would usually just become a platform to try to make it into a movie.
It's probably he wants to play those off of each other because yes, of course we'll talk about I, Frankenstein eventually.
Yes, we will.
That movie's coming. Gorgone, I think you saw that in the theater, didn't you?
I did. I have no reason to see it again, so find somebody else.
Oh, that's all right. I have never actually watched it.
We have found his boundary.
There was a period of time. There was a period of time when Gorgone would quietly go to like very early screens of movies and not even ask anybody to go with him because I think you knew that it was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see it, but I know. Even
I was working graveyard shift, and I wasn't about to go ask people if they wanted to go see I, Frankenstein at 10 a.m.
I didn't want to see it at any time. I knew that was garbage.
No friends would do that with you
Right.
at all.
I was being respectful, John.
Yeah.
See,
No, what I like is that you knew, even though like that's another one where on paper I should be into I Frankenstein. I was like, nope.
Also, I will not dignify any movie that uses gargoyles and doesn't employ Keith David. That's just where I'm at.
I
that's
agree
totally
with
wrong.
that. I agree with that.
Or Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah,
Correct, yes.
And in both, that's gold.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the movie. Number one,
Yes,
gotta
I'm ready.
love, because it's 2003, the metal font of the literal words being made of metal that's
I
in
know.
the movie.
Plus, the metal soundtrack was so baller. Dude, I cranked it full blast. And I was basically shouting at my neighbors, come at me, man. I'm watching Underworld.
That's the whole
dude.
movie. There
Yeah.
is 2 solid hours. I don't think that music ever stops.
Had Evanescence come out already
I think-
as a
'cause I think
band?
this-
Because
yeah.
this
This
they
was the
should have
same
been
ye-
in this.
They did Daredevil though. This was the same year they
I
wrote
know.
the Daredevil.
I know.
soundtrack.
Would you like me to go down the list of the soundtrack here? I have it in front of me.
Well, if something
Please tell
tells
me
me
who's on it.
you had this soundtrack. Something tells me.
Oh, of course I had this soundtrack,
Yeah.
John. What do you take me
This
for?
is very much always the music you've listened to for sure.
I mean, look, my tastes have gotten a lot more eclectic.
They have.
Let's put it that way.
You haven't abandoned this. You've just added more to it. But
He's now listening to a lot of polka.
at the
Correct.
at this time though, firmly this is what was playing on Gorgone's CD player.
And I will say there are definitely bands in this list that I still listen to this. To
Oh,
this
of
day.
course
Oh my
there are.
God.
Of course.
But we've got The Damning Well right off the bat. We've got Pussifer, Paige Hamilton, that weird Milo Jovovich, Donnie Launer duo band they had going on for a
God,
while.
I forgot
Yeah.
when she did her rock career. Oh, God.
Now, you say that Evanescence wasn't in this movie.
Oh, I'm sure they snuck in there.
What?
Yeah, I'm sure they
What?
snuck in there.
No. Evanescence was in this movie, but
Oh, Amy Lee.
Amy Lee did have a track on here.
Yeah.
We've
One
got a
for
Bowie.
solo
We've
track.
got a Bowie song, "Skinny Puppy." We've got a Perfect Circle, classic.
There's one Bowie. I didn't catch where was a Bowie song in this movie?
They have a remix of "Bring Me Disco King." or Bring Me the
that's
Disco
a
that's
King.
right,
remix.
when,
Oh,
Craven
fuck
shows
off.
up, I think.
Fuck
Yeah.
off then.
And he has to have that song because he's wearing that ridiculous shirt.
Yep.
Finch. Anyone remember Finch?
No, I really don't.
There's like 4 Reinholder tracks on this album. What the fuck? I don't
Is there no
remember this at
corrosion
all.
of conformity?
No corrosion of conformity, actually.
No
Trust
Tool.
Company.
I would have thought
the
there'd be a
Dillinger
Tool
Escape
song in
Plan.
there somewhere.
Classic.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
boy, oh boy. Yeah, I was not listening to that.
No, I didn't buy this.
I listened to a lot of other shit. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to be like I just didn't listen to this.
This isn't my genre. I didn't really like this
Gorgone,
stuff.
would you call this butt rock as you often referred to?
No. This
Oh,
is
no, okay.
firmly in the like reaction to like grunge, kind of new metal
Yeah.
/ like
God, I hate
goth metal
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
genre. Goth rock is definitely a big part of
Yeah.
this. No,
Yeah, well,
butt
that-
rock is more like, what if you watered down AC/DC a lot?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. This was where because I was a big grunge guy, and then when it evolved into this, I was like, hey, no.
Yeah.
No. Goth metal was not my jam.
Alt rock is what a lot of people use, and that's just a catch-all phrase that could mean anything
Well,
we
'cause
can't identify.
we've
That
always
was
talked
a
about
very popular tag that really
It meant
there's no
nothing.
definitive thing.
It meant
Yeah.
nothing because anything is an alternative to something, right? Like
Yeah, that's right.
it's alternative to what? Like,
Well,
you
it
need-
is alternative to Screaming Jay Hawkins. You're absolutely right.
That's the thing. It's like say more words to let me know what this music sounds like. I think goth metal is a perfect description for what's in this.
Yes,
movie, though,
goth
yeah.
metal.
So we get immediately just the constant info dumps, and this is a lazy voiceover thing about in the 80s. This would have been a title crawl. There would have been
sure.
Absolutely. It is a time of darkness. I always think of the
Yep.
the beginning of Conan the Barbarian. It is
Right.
a time of great suffering, or
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that this wasn't before the title drop, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
You
feel
could
like
have literally done a cold open just on this and then done
Yeah.
the title.
Underworld. Yeah, it does feel like that because she's talking about there are vampires and there are Lycans, and the Lycans hunt the werewolves, and it's a blood feud going back as far as anyone can remember.
Right.
But now we've hunted them to near extinction.
Dealer.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there's only a few of them left.
The
We won
Lycans
the war.
the Lycans are at near extinction, which once again, also even still, even if you don't know their slave race, you're still like, I'm not sure it's ever a good idea to hunt something to extinction. I'm not sure I can get on board with that in general.
Well, to be fair, they're hunted to near extinction in this metropolitan area.
Correct.
Because we literally see and have no idea where this is, the rest of the world.
This city is never given a name.
Right.
It may as well be Gotham.
Yeah.
But she's up on a building and she's doing this. And does she look amazing? Of course.
Well, sure.
Does she look amazing as the rain is running off and falling out of her hair? It's amazing. And she is tracking visually 3 people on the sidewalk, including Kevin Giroux, who's impossible to miss because he's 7 foot tall and incredibly wide. And there's another guy. And there's a third guy that they are following, and he's got his hoodie up. But even from this great distance, she's kind of like, who's that?
What I like, though, what I love about it is that it takes her well into the movie to realize, wait, they were following him. It's like, I immediately...
he wasn't with them. They were following him.
You can clearly see that. I don't know what she was. All of her detective work in the movie is like, well, yes, of course. Like,
let's just say Bruce Wayne's got nothing to worry about.
Yes, I would not put Selene in the running for world's greatest detective.
No.
Look, she's working at a handicap because despite hundreds of years of life, she has not learned a lot of basic tracking skills involved in hunting the thing she is being trained to kill.
Yeah. Also, despite hundreds of years of life, she hasn't learned about umbrellas or hats or hoods.
No, that's an aesthetic. That's a choice.
I know.
I just look great with wet hair.
All these guys are out in the rain, and then pretty quickly they're in a underground subway station. And she drips for a couple of beats and has kind of raggedy hair, but no one looks like they just came in from the downpour
everybody
that we just saw.
Quick drying
squeaking like a rubber duck.
She would be squeaking. I, honest to God, believe that there is a lot. I wish I could see the live, like actual footage, because they put the music over it and they took out the live sound. The live sound had to be.
That always destroys movies when you hear the on-set thing and you're just like,
leather and latex. Yeah. Oh, they're squeaky.
One of my favorite things, we were talking briefly before we started recording about new Godzilla films, but if you can, look up video of the Suitmation people acting on stage with just the wild audio and hearing the little woman inside the Baragon suit going, rah!
Well, it's the live footage from Star Wars where it's just David Prowse going, "You are part of the Rebel Alliance and traitor."
Yeah.
He's like,
"You are going to use this, George, aren't you?" Yeah. Yeah,
sure.
Yes, David, absolutely. You signed that contract, right? Okay, yeah. Then no, totally, we're gonna use it.
Totally not gonna swap you out for James Earl Jones.
This is immediately where you're talking about Gorgone, what you're talking about, which is just how is no one paying attention to massive hundreds of rounds going off, gunfire that is destroying.
Well, they're paying
subway.
Attention to it as it's happening, but yes, it doesn't
conceivably
seem to be.
Yeah, there's. Because the only cops in the movie are in on it, right? They're like vampire cops.
The only cops we see in the whole film are werewolf cops.
They're werewolf cops.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm already trademarking that. That's a new comic I'm working on.
No, there's already Wolf Cop. Sorry, buddy.
There's
been 2 Wolf Cop movies.
Oh, there's those. Yeah,
John, we already watched that on the Action Shelf. It's called Full Eclipse.
Oh God, Full Eclipse is something, man.
That's something else.
Yeah.
That's not even Wolf Cop.
And by the way, speaking of Action Shelf, you're talking about where is the city? In reality, shot in Budapest, a very Action Shelf.
Oh, really?
Movie.
Wow.
A very Action Shelf movie.
I did not. No, of course, it's completely obvious.
Sure. I mean, half of it's a
just like when you're watching
so.
Hellboy and you're like, gee, I wonder if this is really New York.
No. By the way, I gotta say, estimated production budget, $22 million. Damn good looking $22 million movie.
You're absolutely right. That is well spent money. Even if it's much more expensive.
Even if you acknowledge the they're shooting in darkness and hiding stuff, still $22 million. The sequel costs $50, which is that's one of those things where it's like we're just going Because this thing, $22 million budget, 95.7 worldwide.
And I will
gross.
say the sequel is twice as good, so they got exactly their money's worth.
I remember thinking Evolution was pretty good. I don't know.
I actually, like I said, I don't remember it. I remembered a lot of this one.
Yeah, I remember thinking the first two were pretty solid.
All right. Well,
and the third one is fun and insane. But
okay.
so yeah, they just open up, man, and boy, does anybody ever run out of ammo in this movie? This is
only when it's dramatically appropriate.
Yes, it's very much, it plays by classic action.
The whole thing with her doing and it's cheesy, but again, I like it. But the whole thing of her doing I am shooting at the floor around me in a circle thing to break through. I'm like going, how many rounds does those guns have?
So
because she's just
she's wielding Walther P90s for the most part in the movie. So let's
is a gun expert John Corner,
and each one of those carries about 200 rounds, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, let's be generous and say she has like an extended 20 to 25 round mag in those.
Okay.
Yeah,
in this first action sequence, we also see that she has mastered the art of reloading both guns simultaneously without actually having a third arm.
Yeah, that is
vampires.
Great.
They can do anything.
She's also
except for hit people.
Well, I will say that on the latest What We Do in the Shadows, apparently vampires can fly to space.
That was wonderful.
By the way, it is great that last night I was able to catch up on What We Do in the Shadows and didn't watch Underworld. Guess which version of vampires I enjoyed more?
Well, I know which ones I want to hang out with more, certainly.
Oh my God. So good. Anyway.
These people are so serious, these vampires. My God. Not a laugh in this bunch.
Not a laugh.
No. I don't think there is a laugh in this movie. I don't even think there's an attempt at like a humorous
No, there
beat.
isn't.
Like,
there's not even like a quip or something.
No, like the Matrix has stuff like that, or a lot of the Blade movies, stuff like that. Here, everything is so fucking dire all the time.
Yeah. Well, you realize this was their attempt to give us a vampire werewolf Romeo and Juliet.
Well, that you talk about the elevator pitch. That was 100% where this thing started, right?
Yeah,
and that's primarily where the lawsuit that White Wolf levied at this production, had its basis in, was a novel from their
Nancy
fiction.
A. Collins. Yes,
yeah.
She did a
I love
a short
Nancy
story
A.
in a collection there. Yeah, I read the backstory on that.
I've never read that, but I love Nancy A. Collins' comic book work, certainly.
She loves you.
Well,
she did some work for Vampire the Masquerade, and basically,
what happened to that? It was quietly settled, or something.
It was quietly settled out of court because the lawsuit was brought 5 or 6 months prior to the actual release of the film.
Yeah. All you need to know is
because then they tried to
made a lot of money.
They tried to actually stop the film, didn't they, or something like that?
I think they tried to stop the release.
And I think that was what. So it ended in a confidential settlement. As you're talking about Gorgone, I think just to go it's not even worth the trial. We just want to get this movie out, not delay it. So here, what do you want?
Yep,
right.
That's it.
Well, and Sony would eventually. Sony was the producers on this one.
Correct.
Yeah?
I believe so.
Yes, that is right.
Screen Gems. Yeah, that's Sony. Yep. But they would eventually have the last laugh because White Wolf eventually folded as a company.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, I mean I do think that is sort of the thing. And it's not fair, and I don't mean this in any kind of, but it is sort of like a thing where most people don't know what that is, and so even if you're like, oh no, I'm not giving any credence to it. I'm just saying to the public, they're like, what? Underworld is just so much more well known.
I will say that
Masquerade,
Vampire the Masquerade, which is like we said, the biggest thing that they came up with, was really well known. It just wasn't outside the gaming community,
and it wasn't,
or people who go to bookstores. It's like you see all that stuff. But I will say, I read the because again, I went down that rabbit hole. It's public. You can read their complaint.
Yeah,
White Wolf's complaint and all of the points they bring up.
It says here
some of them are real vague, okay, that's just vampire mythology and werewolf mythology. You didn't make that up.
That's like,
but so specific. You're like, oh,
that guy trying to claim that Warner Brothers stole his script for the Batman, and he has stuff like in my script
because I made the Riddler the bad guy.
Yeah, he literally has stuff like, well, in my script, Batman and Commissioner Gordon team up to work together. And you're like, well, fucking, and the Riddler commits crimes and leaves a series of clues that lead Batman to him. And you're like, you fucking dude, yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, you're laughing, John, but that guy has made now like 40 million off. That's the thing.
Well,
they had to pay him.
Oh,
they did.
No, they didn't. But he has made a lot of money from his Patreon of getting angry people to support him. Anyway,
but where this is concerned, though, what they're really like picking at in terms of the details that this movie blatantly ripped off from the World of Darkness stuff is the whole like vampire clan mythology and the vampire versus werewolf stuff
and there are lots of little bits where you're like going, that's very specific. Like in the games, the what is it, the Lycans call vampires V or V's. And it's like, yeah, they do that in the movie too. I'm like,
yeah, see, that's
common. No one.
Yeah. Like, of course, vampires fighting werewolves wasn't invented by this. But when you get into specific stuff like that, because, you know, what does it say here? They 17 counts of copyright infringement claimed over 80 points of unique similarity. You know, if even 40 of those can be proven, then that's valid. Right. Like, and that's the thing where it's like, yeah, of course they're going to probably overstate some of it, but you know, come on, man.
There were plenty of parts where I was like going,
share with us. By the way, since we're talking about this, Brendan, you saw Kevin Garreau, or Brendan, you said that right? That you saw him actually be confronted with this, and what was his defense?
it was someone at San Diego Comic-Con at this panel, which was, I think, after the movie had come out. And I wasn't there to see this panel. I got in there early because I think the next one, because it was Sony, Yeah. They were about to show us the first footage from Spider-Man 2.
There you go.
So I was like, "Oh, dude!" So I got my seat early,
and that is,
and
of course, that is just Comic-Con tactic, right? You just they don't clear the thing, so you just get a seat.
And do I still have my Octavius Industries baseball cap that I got from there?
Hell
yes.
Yeah. Dude, that's
but
awesome.
Anyway. So Kevin Garreau, I mean, it was really friendly, and Kate Beckinsale's there, and I'm looking at her and a few rows back, and I don't care because I had already seen it, and I was like, yeah, it was okay, and it wasn't anything like my script, and still bugs me that my script wasn't made.
Oh yeah. We should also just as a note, Brendan was shopping a script at the time there was some interest, but it got kind of rejected because. Just the base similarity of
it was
vampires
99 or 2000, I can't remember, but my manager was shopping a script I'd written called Moonlight Becomes You, and it was basically 7 if the detective and the serial killer are a werewolf and a vampire. And so it's 1 versus 1, though a pack of werewolves does become involved at the very end. But anyway, regardless, so my manager thought it was one of my strongest scripts and was shopping it around, and almost every production company or studio sent us notes saying, this is good. We want to watch this writer. However, Sony's got something in the works that's similar. And they kept, and I didn't know at the time. And then it was Underworld is what they were talking about, because it's basically the idea of a vampire and a werewolf being in a movie together. Even if the moods and settings and storyline are completely different, they said, no, we got to pass on it. Sony's got this locked up.
Man, that just shows you the lack of imagination from studio execs. Anyway,
I held it
just like, just so not the case today, whereas a studio would be like, oh, they've got a vampire werewolf movie? We have a vampire
everybody now would buy, it's just like, we've got, in fact, they would fast track your movie now to beat Underworld to market.
To try to get it out before. That's all right. But anyway.
So Guru, what was somebody came up and asked about the White Wolf
connection. They had the open mic where people could walk up and ask questions, and a lot of it was just like, will you guys return and do a sequel? Will there be more latex and all that kind of thing?
90% of those questions are completely
I have a question for Mr. Beckinsale. Can I get a hug? Anyway,
I moderated a panel at a Comic-Con here with Shannon Elizabeth. And a guy did go, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say is the chance of me getting a drink with you after the show?
Oh,
yeah. And that was one of those where she goes, I didn't hear the question. I go, just move on. And she goes, no, I want to answer. She was so nice because she goes, no, what did he say? I want to answer his question. And so then I have to go, he asked what the odds of going on a date with you. Like, it was just like...
He's like, okay, I'll tell you. You're not gonna like it though.
That was the thing. I was trying to be a good moderator and go like, yeah, and she's like, no, what did he want to know? Okay, anyway, yeah. So
basically, Kevin Guerrero's response, because this guy gets up and basically it's a gotcha thing where he goes,
yeah.
How do you respond to the fact that great chunks, if not the entire concept, was lifted from White Wolf Games?
They had to at least be prepared that this was going to be a possibility of being discussed.
And Kevin Guerrero, I mean, and there were a couple of looks like from the other people at the panel towards Kevin, because they're like, "That's you, man." And
Kate Beckinsale doesn't know shit about that.
And he did just go. He goes, "Was I aware of those games? I was aware of them. I never really played them. I'm more of a comics guy." And he's doing that, so he gets like a little bit of a woo from the audience.
Woo, comics!
And he goes, "But no, we settled all that, and I respect those guys, what they did, but what we've done is we've created our own universe. It's totally not." And basically, there were a few people in the audience that kind of like, yeah, right. It wasn't booze, but there were a lot of like, responses. He goes, but it's all done. It's all done. Underworld is free to keep going. They're like, yeah.
Who knows? I don't assume malice. I don't necessarily think they sat down and went 1-to-1, but it's like if you played the games, some stuff got lodged in your brain. I don't know. It's sort of that thing where you go like, you could just be like, oh man, that would be my response. Is just like, oh man, the similarities, yeah, sure.
All right, I've got a new script for you. It's 9 guys, 4 of them short, one's a little bit taller. They got to take it's like a necklace, and they've got to take it to a big pit somewhere.
Yeah.
I may have read some book a long time ago. It may have got lodged in my brain, but this is totally original.
No, I would buy that in a second.
Well, I mean, you could argue how many things did rip off Tolkien immediately, right? Like,
I know
it is the thing about that, but whatever.
The thing with this though is that I mean, he was pretty smooth getting through it, but I'm also sure that came from answering that question a lot.
I was going to say he had to be prepared that was a
deposition and things like that.
It was a possibility.
I don't know about if it was malicious or not, but it is just like this is awesome.
There. Yeah.
Were you guys thrown at all when you saw that one of the co-writers was Danny McBride? I was like,
and it's not
the Danny McBride, and
no,
different Danny McBride.
Different Danny McBride, whose only credits are these movies, and the animated miniseries.
Animated miniseries. I don't even know about that.
Or their shorts.
As far as I can tell, the only reason he gets credits on all of them is because characters buy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
He's not actually involved in the writing.
He wrote. He stops.
Maybe the second one.
The second and third one he has screenplay credits on, and then it's just characters from then on, and he has nothing else going.
Oh well, again, if he invested wisely, he doesn't have to do anything ever again.
Who was Mason in this movie? He plays the character of Mason in this. Which one was
one of the werewolves?
Yeah, all right. So both of the writers play werewolves in this. All right.
Apparently, he's a stunt guy, or at least he was before he started writing the Underworld.
That makes a lot of sense because I think Kevin Guerrero also was mainly a background actor. I mean, not background, but an attempted actor, and that physicality.
Yeah. You can look at his career. He plays a lot of. I mean, he's one of Two-Face's henchmen in Batman Forever.
Yeah,
he's a bomb squad member in Speed. Like he's one of the guys you need if you need a group
he's a
of
big
imposing.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's what.
Well,
it
he's
is.
got a unique voice, so he's done a bunch of
he's also in Steel. Remember when we had to watch Steel?
Yeah,
he was one of the bad guys in Steel.
I'm one of the bad guys in Steel.
He talks extremely deep.
Look, he played Starfleet security officer in 12 episodes of Deep Space Nine. Like,
nice.
If you just need a guy to stand behind Odo and look intimidating, there you go. All right. And so it leads to the fight on the tracks. You've got the UV bullets. Because when she kills this vampire, she picks up the gun with the clip of UV bullets. It's like, oh my god. This is they found
she kills a werewolf.
Yeah, I'm sorry, when she kills a werewolf. And we see that one of the vampires she's with gets shot up and burns from the inside with the UV bullet, which looks cool as fuck, man. I love that.
I know the effects and the makeup.
That you talk really about where they are directly coming from me. We know my love of monster killing weapons on this show.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite things. Yeah. And all that stuff is cool as hell. I do like all that.
But this is the first time she's seen it, so I mean, again. I'm glad they didn't have really terrible dialogue of her going, "What's this?" But she sells it, and she picks up the clip, and she's like, "I'm taking this back."
She takes it back to her queue at the place. there, because it seems like, or at least the like main aristocracy of vampires in this area lives in this big old gothic mansion, of course.
Yeah, sure. And they're all dressed like the hippest goth nerds with all the money in the world.
They just came out of
languid rich people sitting there being beautiful and vampire-y.
I feel like Hot Topic was founded just on this movie.
Yes. Yeah, they got special thanks in the credits.
You never see a broke vampire.
You never do.
Oh, I want to see that. That's the movie I'm actually working on. It's about.
I mean, I'm fairly certain we've seen that in What We Do in the Shadows.
No, they've done that. They have done that. And in my in my script, Moonlight Becomes You, he's white trash. He's not poor.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of it being like some hick
lower class, working class, lower class, less educated vampire.
Yeah, a guy who think
cool
that, frilly tuxes from the 70s was still cool.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
because that comic American Vampire as well.
Oh, yeah. That is that. I love that. Scott Snyder's American Vampire is excellent.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, but his is like following it for decades and decades.
Yes.
Right.
Sort of, but yeah, he is kind of a like southern fried sort of lower blue collar kind of guy.
Well, we thought alike.
Okay. What the hell?
What's happening?
Sorry, I don't know. That was my computer on IMDb started playing a thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe we should just shut up and watch something.
So Selene is of course, this is great because she's going like, hey man, we seem to be seeing more werewolf activity, or I'm sorry, Lycan activity.
Yeah.
Well, and she also stumbled across like a pipe when she was down in the subway tracks, and she heard a bunch of Lycans talking to each other. She comes back with those UV bullets, saying like, "Look, I also heard a bunch of Lycans."
Yeah, because that's the whole thing.
Yakking at each other.
I think they're amassing, and everybody's like, "You're crazy. They're almost extinct."
She literally, just by chance, happens to kind of just be right next door to their main hangout.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, that was lucky, Selene.
Yeah.
But yes, she sees Michael Sheen
following one of the. She was following one of the Lycans, so she followed him there.
Yes. Michael Sheen walks in as the werewolves leader, and
Lucian.
two of them are still in wolf form, and he goes, "Change back. You're all like a pack of wild dogs."
Oh man, I couldn't talk about What We Do in the Shadows. I just kept thinking about how much he's like Rhys Darby in that. Where it's
like we're werewolves, not swearwolves.
It is just like, show some respect. What are you? Come on.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, isn't that their whole point of being? Is that they're these werewolves?
But
and he's like, don't be a werewolf.
Anytime Michael Sheen is in this movie, I'm loving it. He's one of my favorite actors in general, and he just rules. One of the things I love about him is he's like, cool, leader of these crazy werewolves. Got it. I'm in. I'm committing 100%.
This is also young, sexy Michael Sheen.
Oh,
so
he's
got
also
the
sexy.
rocker hair and the goatee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He looks pretty awesome. And I mean, I guess Lynn Wiseman, I don't know what he looks like really.
Oh,
but
he's a handsome fellow.
Okay, because I'm not sure with Kate going like, yeah, I know we have kids together.
No,
but
Len Wiseman's one of those guys who infuriates me because he's like a nerdy director who's also like looks like a model.
Well, there you go. God bless.
He's in that Zack Snyder camp where it's like
he's no Brett Ratner though.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, he is no Brett Ratner. That's the point.
I know. I'm being funny. I'm being funny.
That's it exactly. He's the opposite of the toad that is Brett Ratner.
It was so strange seeing Michael Sheen in this film because I'm so used to these days having the more like pleasant, befuddled Michael Sheen. Seeing him as the ragtag leader of a terrorist group of werewolves was definitely a different side of him than what you see.
But also proof the guy can do anything.
The guy can. He is one of those, and those are my favorite. Those are always my favorite actors, or guys who can just kind of become anything like that. He shows up and he's like, guys, we gotta. And I guess what his whole thing is just like. He's still pissed off that they are werewolves to a certain extent, or just like we shouldn't be the animals they view us as, right? Is that kind of his?
I mean, as a rebel leader, he's basically, I think he's trying to keep them still under wraps. He doesn't want to show his hand too early, so he doesn't want big, exposed fights with werewolves in the subways. He's like, we got to be smarter than that. So I think that's more it. Not that it's like we don't want to be werewolves anymore.
Right.
He's basically just saying like, dude, you got to be smart because we don't have the numbers.
Throughout the movie,
plan our attack.
Throughout the movie, there's this ongoing tension between Selene and the current kind of head vampire, Craven.
I did not like this performance at all. I don't like this guy.
Well, he's just... The thing about it is he's so douchey that when he's a turncoat, you're like, well, yeah, right? Like,
not only is he so douchey, supposedly, because we also get her going into the vampire textbook.
Oh, don't you love when this movie stops to have her read a book?
And with really cool illustrations.
Very cool illustrations.
Would it even be a vampire movie if they didn't consult an ancient tome?
Yeah,
well,
right,
yeah, it is the thing about every Hammer movie has Van Helsing pull a giant
with a huge book that says vampires on it.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Let me look this up here.
Gothic text.
Yeah, let me
respect the legacy of the ancient tome.
Yeah.
But we are when she's doing that history, she's talking about the elder vampires and the beginning of the Great War, and the death supposedly of the werewolf leader Lucius, at the hands of Craven. So what we're learning is that Craven, the guy who is clearly American, and is not attempting any kind of like, I'm an ancient elder vampire. Instead, he looks like the douchiest guy at the nightclub.
But he's not American. Was he doing an American accent? I can't remember exactly.
He's doing a completely American accent.
Well, that's interesting because he's
almost going like, it's not time for the awakening yet, Selene.
He's doing like you're right. I did think about it. He does kind of sound like a Jersey kind of, but he's
almost doing that.
He's
like
from
Bel.
The actor is from Belfast.
This is Shane Brawley. He is an Irish actor.
Yeah.
Who is that classic like European overcorrecting American accent is what he's doing.
Yeah.
But why is he
American?
An ancient vampire from Europe.
She's British. Beckinsale's British, and she's supposed to be a younger vampire than him. And
why isn't he doing like an Irish accent, his own accent?
This is 100% a movie where everybody could just do their regular accents and no one would question it because it's a crazy fantasy world, you know.
Yeah. But he is he's not only douchey in the way he acts.
Because he's the younger of the
elders, he's the young elder.
And he's currently in charge. And so much of the first third of the movie is her threatening to wake up Daddy, right? Just going like, shouldn't we bring Victor out of his rest and ask him what? You don't need to talk to Victor.
He's not actually he's in charge of like this outpost, this coven.
Yeah. He's the regional manager.
In charge is the woman on the train later.
Right. Yeah, there's and she
because they bring in the vampire council or whatever, right?
Because every 100 years they wake a different elder to become the leader.
Yeah.
And so Sophia, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Amelia.
Maybe not. What is it?
Amelia.
Yeah, Amelia, right.
Yeah.
Sophia's the one from the past who died. Right. Okay. So Amelia's on the train because she's going to come in and she's going to awaken by, I guess, using her blood.
Mm-hmm.
The next guy, and she'll go back into sleep. So that's the whole deal. But Selene keeps pushing for Victor, who's not supposed to be awake for another 100 years or something, because she wants to tell him about the werewolves. But the thing is, again, I don't buy anything about this douchey dude because literally, actor's terrible, and they have dressed him like he is a side character in A Night at the Roxbury. He is so awful. Oh, I hate him.
He is casually cosplaying Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
sure,
but not. I mean, Angel at least most of the time looked cool, and this guy looks like
casually cosplaying. This is the cosplay that like I got whatever I could find at the Goodwill I put together.
Yes,
well,
and
if somebody asks, I'll say
every vampire is a cliche that you're seeing in the background. They all look like European douchebags with too much money and a Hot Topic, charge account.
Yeah,
so it is. But there's the one blonde, Sophia Miles, and we keep going like, oh, hey, you're pretty, and she gets like 2 lines of dialogue.
She's the girl in the fireplace, man.
She is the girl in the fireplace.
I love Sophia Miles. And she's a good actor who's doing the best she can with what she's been given.
Yeah, she's not given anything, though.
But her whole character in this is just basically to be not Selene, right? Like, it's just like...
she's weirdly kind of a confidant of Selene's, but basically keeps angling everything towards her showing up Selene or Selene failing so that she will be in favor. That's
right. She's like
a frenemy.
She's a mean girl. She's like a mean girl from the
girl.
That's the thing
Vampire
where it's just like you're so cool, Selene, and then going to Craven and being like, Selene sucks, right? Like,
plus Craven's name is Craven.
Yeah, and I didn't see him hunting anyone in this movie.
I didn't see him literally wearing a lion head vest at any point.
Huh. Wow, I didn't realize this. She plays Lucy in a Masterpiece Theater version of Dracula.
Oh, that's upcoming.
What?
That's an upcoming episode.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah,
that's
I wasn't aware of this.
Who's Dracula now?
That's the 06
Mark
one.
Warren.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I look forward to seeing it.
David Suchet. Poirot is Van Helsing in it.
Okay.
It also has Dan Stevens, who I love, playing.
Dan Stevens plays Arthur. Cool.
Yeah. That is on the list. That is an upcoming episode.
Okay.
Don't worry, we'll watch it. We'll get to everything, good and bad. So she becomes obsessed with Scott Speedman because she's looking at this footage of the werewolves and going, wait, they were following this guy. What's his deal? And boy, does he have mid-2000s protagonist hair.
Yes, he does.
You want a dirty blonde just below the ears, Dawson's Creek hair.
Yeah.
Boy, if you come to the right place.
Yeah.
Stringy Johnny Depp of the period hair.
Yeah, it's we over on our patron show Last Be Curious, we did the Mission Impossible movies. Very much the hair Cruise has in Mission Impossible 2, which is around this time. It's that everybody had to have this like I'm so cool.
However,
I don't
Scott Speedman did not do his own stunts in this movie.
Specifically didn't. Yeah, man, come on. At some point, Scott Speedman obviously sat in the makeup chair because when he's in full, hybrid, he looks cool. I like that. I wanted more of that.
It's a good look, but I kept going like, can he turn into a bat? Come on, man.
You really were waiting for bat transformation in this movie.
Well, I wouldn't have until they made that whole nonsense about one of our forebears was bitten by a bat and the other one by a wolf. And I'm like, so one can transform, the other one is just cool?
So speaking
of... the vampire and werewolf powers in this universe are far more reduced than what we're used to. Like the vampire
pretty much pumped up because they can turn at will into full-on werewolves. And
meanwhile, vampires can become unconscious due to blood loss.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so hero guy can save her, and it'll be
and they can't see in the dark when they're fighting werewolves.
That's
apparently
right.
not.
That's
but their eyes do turn weird colors for no good reason.
Yeah, because it looks cool, man. This is the ultimate example. We've talked about a few movies, but I feel like this franchise is the ultimate example of everything looks cool. You could just keep it on mute and this movie would be more enjoyable. Really, like it really is. It's so about the aesthetics. And if you're just looking at I think that's what I was really thinking watching it this time. I'm going, well, everything is objectively cool. I just don't care.
No, there's that. But I also did look forward to every moment of time with Nai and Sheen.
Yeah.
So it's like there are actors that I would turn the volume up for.
Yeah.
Because even though they're saying jibber jabber dialogue, they're doing it like actually good actors.
Both of those guys, and they have kind of made a career out of it because we'll talk about, when we get to the Twilight movies, Michael Sheen is like the big villain in those. And, it's sort of like, or Nai doing Davy Jones. And they are guys who you can always plug in, and they will always be equally good no matter how stupid the material is.
I mean, look, Bill Nighy is a transformative villain, both literally and metaphorically, in one of my favorite movies of 2019, Detective Pikachu.
Yes. This is,
I'm not with you on that, but he's also transformative.
I will give you
in Shaun of the Dead.
I will give you that movie was better than it should have been. I am not.
That's what I hear. And someday
I'm not giving one of the best movies of that year, but I will go. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Bill Nighy also in I, Frankenstein.
Oh, jeez. Well, Bill Nighy.
Remember, this was supposed to be. They were supposed to cross over.
Well, and also Bill Nighy and Michael Sheen both. Like a lot of British actors, they're sort of in that Michael Caine camp of like, they'll kind of take anything and they'll be good in it, but it is very clear when they're in good stuff and shitty stuff.
Yes.
And that's fine because Bill Nighy's in a lot of crap, like a lot of garbage. It's amazing. His career's all over the place.
Yes.
But he's always probably the best thing in that. And I think the biggest bummer here is we don't get them together.
Yeah. There's really no face-off between
there will be
Victor the Elder and
one of the reasons I like
Lucian.
it's one of the reasons I like the third one, because we do get that conflict at the center of the movie.
Would you stop spoiling stuff?
But unfortunately, we get this guy back as Craven, and that is a main character. So,
oh, awesome!
Yeah, man, we finally get to see the origins of Craven. All right,
Victor, isn't it weird? We're back in Plague Time.
Let's jump to
That's fucking weird.
Let's jump to Michael Sheen's secret basement science, as I called it in my notes here, because he's got this weird little guy doing science for him, mixing vampire DNA.
I love the description of this actor. It's just this weird little guy, Erwin Leder, who has played a weird little guy in so many movies.
Dude, this guy goes back to Das Boot. And he was a weird little guy in that too, right? Like, I do like that he obviously that movie is a masterpiece, and to the point where that's still his IMDb profile photo is him from that, because he's like, whatever else I did.
Probably the not highest profile, but the most respectable.
Well, I think that is the thing. It's like, whatever else I did, I was in Das Boot. So
yeah, and I will say that he sells himself thanks to his natural accent.
I do really like him in this. Actually, he's got kind of the Peter Lorre role, or the the weird.
He seems like he could be. He could be their scientist, but he also seems like he is from the past. He seems like an old European figure.
Well, and they give
who
him
also happens to know modern science.
They give him the creepy little circular scientist glasses.
Yes, they lean hard into it.
I was really sad we didn't get to see this creepy little guy turn into a creepy little werewolf.
Yeah, it's true.
But the way he dies fucking rules and is gnarly as hell. When
there's some gnarly kills in this movie.
What it's explained is he is trying to blend vampire DNA, I guess, with Lycan DNA, but specifically, they're trying to track down the Corvinus family, which is now known as Corvin. That's the thing. They're literally tracking down everybody in the world, I guess, that's the right age, that's named Corvin.
Yeah.
And it's like, nope, this guy's not the one.
Cross it off.
Yeah, they're crossing it off like, nope, that didn't work.
Nope. Find another
and
Corvin.
That's why they've been focusing on medical student. Is it Michael?
Michael Corvin.
Michael Corvin is the last guy on their list.
The last guy on their list. Turns out he's the one they want.
You know what I really want? I wanted a werewolf.
He's the descendant of the third of the original.
Really wanted a werewolf flipping through a phone book and just going, nope, cross it off.
I'm a friend of Michael Corvin.
Can I see her? Yeah, I mean, it is. Can they see? Yes, I want to talk to Michael Corvin. Well, let's go to Michael Corvin, who's at the hospital with his pal, Wentworth Miller, who's was a nobody at this time.
Captain Cold.
Yeah. Oh, I do love him as Captain. He was great.
Young Wentworth Miller.
Talk about a guy who was having a blast as that character. My God, he was having fun.
Yeah. I mean, he's not the character from the comic, but he was fun in that role.
I'm going to get you a T-shirt, Brandon, that just says, well, he's not the character from the comic, but...
Yeah, but it's the truth.
And with a little asterisk that says below it, it's the truth.
You're just afraid of the truth because you can't handle it. You cannot handle it.
But yeah, Wentworth Miller has nothing to do in this movie except just be like, hey, some weird stuff is happening, man. Yeah,
and also, hey, what's up with your shoulder?
Hey, man,
I got bit. Damn,
wild.
that's some bite, all right.
That's crazy, man. All right. So yeah, he ends his day at the hospital. We just get cutting away. He's not doing anything. Whatever.
No. No.
So the vampires are having this big party, and Selene leaves to go look up where Michael Corvin is.
Yeah.
And she's searching through his apartment. When
he comes back, and then the Lycans show up and try to grab him as well.
And it's another
huge
shootout fight. This is where she shoots the floor that we were talking about. Shoots the floor all around her.
Oh, this is also where we get the wall wolves or the werewolves.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm not.
I keep
didn't
telling
like
him,
that.
this building's got to do something about these werewolves. I'm just so tired of them.
I was not a fan of this because look.
Now is that a wall that is bitten by a man or a man that is bitten by a wall?
Hey, take your pick. But basically, in this movie, because they thought it would be cool, like in the Aliens movie,
Yeah, it's
werewolves
it's so Aliens.
are climate. They're able to run on a vertical surface or upside down on the ceiling, and I'm like, guys, that's not a werewolf thing. They do have claws.
Also, I mean, sure they could.
They
but
would
like,
actually go much faster if they were just on the fucking
That's the
floor.
point. Is like they could do that, but I don't see how that's aiding them. If anything, yes, they're going slower as a result.
Yeah.
Well,
so that was
it's
just
sort of like an equilibrium thing where it's like vampires lost a lot of powers and werewolves gained a lot of powers. They met somewhere in the middle.
And as you say that, it must have been about the same year. Equilibrium was another post-Matrix. Matrix-y movie.
They were bitten by radioactive wolf spiders.
I love that later in the movie when we get that explanation of the Corvinus, like people that got bitten, they go out of their way to say, well, one got bitten by a rabid bat and the other bitten by a rabid wolf.
Yeah.
And so those two strains of rabies mixed with why we are immortal.
Hey,
and
folks.
then made.
Folks, get your rabies shots. That's all we're saying.
Get your rabies shots.
Can I say gibber plus jabber equals all that nonsense?
Oh, most of this movie is gibbering and jabbering, right? Like
You're absolutely correct.
It's so much gibber jabber. Because
what is the urban fantasy equivalent of technobabble?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jibber jabber.
Jibber jabber in skin tight latex on a very attractive woman.
Yeah,
and I will
that only gets me so far, though. Really, I'm sorry. In these movies, it is sort of like I get it. She looks great. I will say something that surprised me is they really lean into the gore, but no nudity. This movie feels like it would have. You have the one Sophia Myles topless from behind. I'm not here going like, hey man, where were the boobs? I'm just saying I'm surprised that if you're gonna already go R-rated, you would think a movie like this would have indulged in that.
Well, it's also possible they were literally following the Matrix handbook, and it's like, no, we just go with the action and the gore. Yeah. That's where we're going to get our R.
And I mean, they certainly, I do appreciate that they do not hold back on the gore. We always complain about werewolves who don't really tear people apart in movies.
Ray's got all three of those razor edge things in his chest.
That's right.
And then he pulls them out.
I pulled them out because I'm a badass.
That's much closer than I can do. You've got a lower voice.
I do. This is what? No. So
when did this movie when did this come out? September 2003. 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so this actually comes out after the second Matrix movie.
Yes. Yeah. This came out between 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3 of the Matrix movies. Yeah. But it's still, we're still in that post first Matrix where everybody's
totally
trying.
All they did was swap out the green lens filter for a blue one. That is literally all they did.
The only reason I ask is because the second Matrix movie has the rave scene that was a little bit more like sexually charged, and I feel like that would have given every copycat a permission to be more sleazy.
It's like, we can put boobs in this.
That's just a lot of sweaty people grinding, man. And
that's man, that's what you do when you're in. Oh crap! What was the name of it?
Zion.
Thank you.
Yeah, Zion.
I forgot. Give an old dude a break.
Yeah. So they all right. So I do like Michael Sheen getting shot and then expelling the bullets like Wolverine. Pretty cool.
Yeah, because he's an elder badass werewolf.
Michael Sheen having a bullet orgasm in an elevator.
Yeah, man.
I needed in my life until I saw this movie.
Liar. Oh.
I needed that. I did need that in my life. You get him jumping on the car, and this is where he busts out his arm sword for the first time.
Again, I love the fact that he's like, we have to be somewhat discreet and stay undercover, and also, so we're not going to turn into werewolves. But we will pop out these enormous forearm blades and slice open a car roof.
Yeah, what is he becomes Razor Fist from Shang-Chi.
Oh, no. He has joined an elaborate order of ancient assassins, and he is facing off against the Templars.
Yeah. Michael Sheen was like, Please, they got a different Michael for that movie though. Nearly wrecked his career too. But yeah,
Selene and Michael are getting away from the Lycan hit squad, but not before Michael gets bit.
Yeah,
he gets bit, but she's also losing blood, vampire lady. And when they're driving away, she's like, "I got this. Don't worry." He goes, "Yeah, but you're pretty messed up." And then she passes out, and they crash. And then he drags her to safety because he cares about.
There's a lot of important messages in this movie. Get your rabies shots. Don't fall asleep behind the wheel. There's a lot of very important messages in this movie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Brandon, I have a question for you, and John, I guess this extends to you as well, but I know you care less about this.
Yeah.
How undead do you want your vampires in a given vampire movie?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I want them to not be indistinguishable from humans because that loses the point. So I'm not sure if I'm totally down with the Joss Whedon take where it's the demons inhabiting a formerly living body. I'm fine with it still being the people, but I want them to be the dead. I want them to be pale and burn in the sunlight and stink, all that stuff.
No breathing, no human food, all that kind of thing. Okay.
No.
Is this to get you to how is she almost drowning?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having those exact same thoughts.
And you're right, Gorgone. My answer is whatever story they want to tell. If it's a good story, I don't really have a strong preference.
Well, here's the thing: is I know also that stuff gets swapped out. Literally every time someone makes a vampire or werewolf movie, they pick and choose what of the mythology they want, or they make their own.
Because otherwise, you could go at this stuff forever too, as we've talked about. Sure. Like there's so many rules that have been generated over the years.
Sorry to bring up What We Do in the Shadows, but they start going over the rules of vampirism in that most recent episode, and the whole thing about counting rice was hilarious.
Very funny.
Where you have Laszlo going, "And no desire to count the rice. Check that off." It goes, "But as long as it's down here, let's see. There's 1, 2. So good,
guys. We should really move on. Shut up, Gizmo.
Shut up, Gizmo. 3, 4.
Yeah,
Matt Berry is a fucking treasure.
He
Absolutely.
is an international gift.
Yeah, that man is everything. So he saves her from the water, treats her wounds because remember he's a medical student, so that paid off.
And the romantic sweeping strings come in.
God.
No, actually, it's more metal.
It's always metal. The sweeping metal strings.
We're falling in love.
I love you so much, baby.
Oh, you listen to Drowning Pool too?
Yeah. I mean, it is just. It's very short-handed. It's kind of some of the issue with the X-Men movies of this era too, where it's just like, Logan and Jean Grey look at each other and there's a passion in just them going like, yes.
Yeah.
And you're just going like, is it just that they're both hot? Is that seems to be it?
They're drawn to each other through mutual hotness.
Yeah, it's like that kind of misses a lot of the impact of a Romeo and Juliet type tale. But okay, sure, this movie could give a shit.
No, it could not.
Yeah, it's just going like they're in love. Damn it, go!
At this point, he's already been bitten by a werewolf, so we could say it's just animal magnetism.
I see what you did there, and I wish you hadn't.
After he saves her, she brings him back to the vampire house, and the vampires are like, "What?
How dare you?
What are you doing, lady?"
They don't fully freak out until they figure out that he's been bitten by a Lycan.
Yeah, that's when they're like, "You got to fucking get rid of this guy." But here they're like, "What are you doing?" At this point, they think, "Why are you just bringing a human in here?" That's a weird.
Oh,
decision.
we gonna feed on him? Is this lunch? You brought back
yum
leftovers?
yum. Yeah.
He is hot.
Craven is tucking the napkin into his collar, like
he's got the bib that just got Scott Speedman's face on it.
He's got a knife in one hand and a fork in the other.
That's just what I was looking for. A hot white guy. All right.
Here we go. He looks like that guy from Felicity. All right.
Oh yeah. Is he the one she's supposed to end up with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which one? Is he the moody one or the funny one?
Yeah. Is he the nerd or the hot dude? All right.
She does end up with him, I believe.
Shit, no, I'm thinking of Ally McBeal.
Oh, this isn't Gil Bellows. Not referenced a lot these days, unfortunately.
No, really not.
No, I believe she does end up with Speedman on Felicity, I think is actually the case.
Maybe. I can't remember anymore.
I'm pretty sure that is the case.
I stopped watching when she cut her hair.
But yeah, at this
I
point,
saw that as a personal betrayal.
Yeah,
we
that ain't
also have
Felicity.
Craven kind of sniffing around, being like, we haven't really established that Craven has this like weird codependent, like, I need you with me at all times, Selene. Like, you need to be my weird vampire bride forever.
Yes, but also it's he's keeping her close because he knows she could spoil the whole thing.
Because let's rip that Band-Aid off that he is in league with Lucian.
She has discovered that to some degree, not the whole thing, but the reason they think that Lucian died way back in the plague is literally Craven supposedly killed Lucian and cut off the part of his skin that had his distinctive tattoo on it.
That being just pinned in the book made
and
me
it's
laugh.
Pinned in the book like it's a scrapbook.
That really got me.
Look, it's in the page that's labeled memories, okay?
Well, when she went up against Michael Sheen, she saw the same tattoo thing. She's figuring it out. Like, wait, maybe Lucian
once again, lest we forget,
she
it's
saw
kind of
the
a detective
pendant
movie.
he was wearing.
Right.
And that pendant is depicted in the ancient tome that she lives in.
More reading scenes. Great. That's what I'm looking for. No, but yeah, she so they let's see. But Sheen did get a sample of his blood. Because that's what he takes back to his
he has that really gross scene where like they're running away and he's got all of Scott Speedman's blood in his face and he's just smiling because he knows he still won. He pulls out this little tiny jar from his coat pocket and just spits the blood into the vial.
I mean, once again,
brings it back to creepy little dude is like, check this shit out.
Yes, you brought me Scott Speedman's blood.
I have dreamed of this my entire life.
Finally, I can make my clone of Noel from Felicity. No, he was Ben. I'm sorry.
We would be happy forever.
I'm sorry, he was Ben. Scott Foley was Noel.
How dare you?
That's sorry. That's on me there. Whatever. Oh no, it actually burns him when it turns out it was Greg Grunberg who he's cloning. No, I made the fat funny friend.
Oh no.
Well, that's okay. Now I've got an in with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
JJ, I have your next reboot. So she's reading the. Oh, we do get the target practice with the silver nitrate bullets, which is cool.
Oh my god! Look, I know they're fancy vampires, but maybe just stick to the paper targets. This whole idea that they have an endless supply of plaster cast.
Yeah, it's just so it can shoot into something and then leak the silver nitrate out, right? It had to be body shaped, and they're like, well, the old fashioned stuff. Yeah, it's
just like they've got this mechanical thing that pops up endless busts of Shakespeare or whatever the fuck.
It's the movie, right? It's the whole movie is over designed like this. Everything is just so it's just so comic booky and so otherworldly, yet is also supposed to be just the flip side of our world.
Yeah,
and again, didn't go far enough for me.
Yeah,
if it was up to me, like those would have been human targets they had like strapped at the end.
If it was up to Gorgone, this movie would have spawned no sequels, but been remembered by a very loyal fan base of nerds.
You remember that movie where the vampires were shooting at living targets that just popped up out of a
awesome, man.
Thing? It was cool.
Yours would get a straight-to-video sequel.
How many movies that are in our like catalog of weird cult movies we love are remembered by a select few and never got a sequel?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many hashtag make something too where we support.
Oh wow.
I feel like most of the movies we saw in high school were movies we were like, that was awesome. Oh, no one saw it? Well, we thought it ruled. And that's what I'm talking about. This is a movie where this was popular, and I don't know, maybe that makes me the sort of hipster monster movie fan to go like, that's mainstream shit, man.
Yeah. I'm waiting for The Addiction too.
Yeah. Oh, The Addiction is a far more interesting movie.
It is interesting.
I'm waiting for Dark City 2.
Oh,
actually, yeah,
Dark City. Dark City fucking rules. Dark City.
Except for Dark City is so complete in and of itself.
Oh god, it's such a great movie, man.
I love Dark City all day long.
That was pre-Matrix, which is interesting about that. So I do like there is a point when Craven, being a douchebag, goes, "You're infatuated," and he says it just like that. You're infatuated with this human.
No, he actually says, "You're infatuated with that human."
I don't know
What's
that he's
your fucking deal?
I don't know that he's quite to Sopranos character level.
He's basically there.
Bagoo, come on!
Especially when you're comparing him to all these Brits who are being eerie, vampiric Brits.
I gotta go back
and he's like,
and listen
hey,
to him again.
Hey, did you just wake Victor? I told you not to. God damn it.
I gotta go back and watch it again.
Victor.
Was this your perception, Gorgone? I don't remember him being this much of a Goomba.
I mean, when he started asking for the gabagool, I got a little suspicious. I will say, John.
Gabagool.
Gabagool only spelled with Ghoul because it's spooky and
you
shit.
You didn't put enough gravy on my pasta meatballs, you know?
When he was asking his ma for the lasagna,
come on.
It really did kind of go a little too far.
Come on, you're going to embarrass me in front of the elders.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I would have killed if he had just panned over and just for one shot there's a vampire Polly Walnuts in his tracksuit with the same hair going.
Vampire Polly Walnuts is going to be my new YouTube series I'm going to start doing.
Yo, Crave.
It's going to be great.
Yo, Crave, do you mean me to whack somebody?
Oh my God. Okay, so regardless of how he sounds, he does do that whole thing about how dare you. And
he's very, very upset with that. This is also right around the time we find out that he is in cahoots with Lucian.
He's so in cahoots, man.
Yeah, and he goes, "You're challenging our arrangement," says Michael Sheen.
So here's a question I have about this arrangement of theirs. We find out in this movie that, to like spoil the end of the film in terms of what Craven's up to, whatever.
Yeah.
His whole plan with Lucian is basically a long-term goal to destroy the vampire elders in order to consume control of the worldwide network of vampire clans. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
How has it taken 600 years to pull this off?
I know.
Well, because they're still looking for that blood.
This is when the movie happened.
They're still looking they're still looking for that blood, man.
They've gone through a lot of Corvins, I'll tell you that much.
It's implied that, like most of the Lycans have been wiped out at this point.
Yeah.
You'd think Lucian would want to step up the timetable of his people being exterminated.
Yeah.
That's kind of what his men are thinking, too. That's why they're like, fuck it, we're going to have a
Everybody cool it. Everybody cool it. We just need to need to be patient. Be patient, everybody.
Lucian doesn't actually care about Craven taking over. His whole goal is creating the hybrid.
Right.
Which
that will end the war, right? If we become the same race, kind of, isn't that sort of the thing?
It'll balance everything.
Yeah. He's hoping to like create a messiah figure that can unify the two sides.
Which once again further adds to why I am.
Scott Speedman is all of our ultimate messiah. We all look to Scott Speedman.
Woo! No, the thing I was going to say, though, is I think that's another reason why I'm Team Lycan, is like, he's not looking to destroy, he is looking to unite. Is Lucian the Charles Xavier of this world?
Oh! Yep.
I mean, it is they were enslaved.
because he dies.
Well,
I guess that never stopped Xavier, but...
he comes back plenty of times. Sometimes younger, sometimes he can walk, sometimes he has hair.
Yeah, now he has now he's got a big old helmet on his head with an X on it.
Yep,
that's true.
Which is pretty cool.
But there's also this whole thing tied in that like Lucian's love and the mother of his unborn child, who was Victor's like actual biological daughter.
Victor's daughter,
even though he was also a vampire.
Well, we'll have to wait for the prequel, because that's where we're gonna be, and that's our friend Rona.
They're
Mitra.
the original Romeo and Juliet of this world, because it was vampire lady, daughter of the elder, falls in love with Lucian the werewolf, and the werewolves are at the time the slaves of the vampires, so this can never be. So to get Lucian back, he literally stakes his own, not stakes, but he ties up his own daughter so she'll burn up in the sun while Lucian is forced to watch his beloved burn.
But he does that because she's pregnant with their hybrid offspring.
Right.
Wait, here's a question I have for you guys.
I'm ready.
Was that Rona Mitra in the one that you watched?
Who that was tied to the stake as the daughter?
It was so quickly. It was an attractive lady. I have no idea who it was.
She was in flashbacks, and the filming of it was like so jilty and weird. I didn't quite clock her.
The thing was, a woman played this character, and then they went back and reshot these scenes after
With
they shot
Rona
Rise of Lycans with
Oh.
Rona Mitra, so it would fit. And I just don't know because I have the
Well, I saw it on Netflix. I don't know if it's the most recent version. They did say it was Ultra 4K.
Okay, that's the Netflix version because I have the 4K of this, and that's on there.
However, I was also told that it's leaving Netflix on July 31st, which means I might have to find other places to watch the sequels.
Maybe, I don't know.
So I know you've got the box set.
I do have the box set. Yes, I do have the 4K box set, which I got on a deep discount and bought specifically because we were covering these.
If it was $5, I would buy it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was like a Black Friday or Prime Day thing, and I'm going, we're gonna cut. Sometimes I am now just going, if something's on sale and it's future episodes of this show, I'm like, I'll just grab this for future. I'll
find a way.
I've already been getting box sets for when we eventually get to slashers, so
Wow, you've prepared.
I am prepared. Yeah,
you're doing your homework.
Anyway,
back to the movie.
Yeah. So anyway, that's his tragic backstory that we'll get an entire 2-hour movie about eventually.
I can't even fucking wait.
Let's see, the blonde. It's Sophia Miles tells Selene that he got bitten by a werewolf. I saw that because she examines an unconscious Scott Speedman and sees the werewolf bite, and she's like, "You better get him out of here, man, because that guy's a fucking Lycan."
Yep.
She can smell it.
And then Selene's like, "You're not gonna turn me in?" She's like, "No. Why are you being my friend?" I'm just your buddy. That's all.
And so he books it out of there. He escapes in the rain. Is always
to answer your question, John. The version we saw on Netflix did have Rona Mitra digitally inserted into the film.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Please never say digitally inserted. Ever
I don't know.
Again.
I don't know if she was digitally inserted. I thought they just filmed new versions.
I think they just filmed it.
Did they get Michael Sheen back to refilm that whole sequence? And then, I
don't think you see him in the same shot. I think it's literally
I've literally got it frozen on my screen.
Well,
right
they may have just shot that stuff during the production of Rise of the Lycans, for all I know.
Oh, that's possible.
Yeah, since they already had the sets and stuff. Anyway, I also apparently watched the unrated extended cut and didn't even realize it, so I don't know if there's anything different. So far, that hasn't happened, I don't think. She does open up Bill Nighy's tomb.
Oh, I thought you were about to say a can of whoop ass, but no,
she bites her own arm and puts it into his tomb to wake him up, and only an elder is supposed to awaken an elder, right? She's it's an abomination what she's doing.
Struggling with her conscience and saying in the mirror, "Please forgive me, Victor." Yeah. And then she goes
these vampires, by the way, have reflections.
Yeah, they do. Whatever. They're doing what they want to do.
Well, so they can look mournfully into a mirror.
That's right. And so she does. She bites her own wrist, drains the blood into the tomb, which is, we've seen these kinds of tombs where it's like, it's all like a puzzle box thing. The blood circulates, it goes down into a little hole. And they actually do some weird, pretty cool effects where it's like you're actually seeing the tubes, the blood's going into the mouth. You follow it into the guy's body. You see the mummified heart start to beat.
All that stuff, all the visual stuff and little bits and things like that, all the details. Great. That's where this movie really excels. I just wish they, had thought about the characters a little more.
Yeah.
Well, because they're also doing something that is a very hit and miss in terms of vampire mythology, which is like gaining memories from blood.
That's a new thing where it's like, because when Scott Speedman wakes up, he knows a lot of the backstory because he's like, holy shit, man, I was seeing, I don't know, like somebody else's life.
Yeah, because what we see mostly of Michael Sheen's tragic past is through Scott Speedman's, as I call them, werewolf nightmares.
Because he got bit by him, and I guess there's blood transfer. He's able to see like past memories.
Right. Yeah. So
and so the idea with Selene waking up Victor is like she's giving him her blood so that he can see everything she's seen.
He gets an update,
but he's still super
and then when
pissed.
He pops up, it does look cool. It's good makeup, and he's like, "Hello, my child. What's up?" And then she's like, "Okay, werewolves.
They're
doing a
because
thing, and
she shouldn't have been the one to wake him." So he's all upset, and she's like, "No, listen."
At first, he's not, and then he goes, "What year is it?" And she goes, "I woke you up like 100 years early," and he's like, "Yeah."
And she's trying
broke the chain.
And she's going, no, you've got to listen. This Craven guy is a bad leader. And his response is just kind of like, well, it's his show to run, man. I don't know if he's doing bad, you know.
She's also
That's how the rules go.
You're going to be judged. I love you like a daughter, but you have
Wait
broken
till the
council
commandment. Gets here. You're going to be in so much trouble,
You're
girl.
be in so much trouble because it's supposed to be Marcus's turn.
Yeah. Oh,
something
Marcus.
that they never address in this film.
I'm
that
ready.
Other long-term like vampire stories have dealt with is just like, okay, so they've got to stick with the shadows in order to exist, because if it's the whole like, if we awaken the angry mob thing, humanity will turn and exterminate us if we reveal ourselves to them.
Right. Yeah.
This movie never out and out says that that's the case, but Victor seems to imply that like this chain of succession of like the elders switching places every 100 years is what's kept them all like continuing, and I don't understand why.
I didn't think it was anything other than that was the tradition. I didn't think it was something like, we will literally physically degrade and fall apart if this doesn't happen.
It's been a little while, but I don't think this franchise ever addresses that, does it?
Well, except in the fourth one when it's humanity finds out and they start exterminating vampires.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert!
Yeah,
man, I never saw the fourth one. God,
we get a time jump. It's a time jump, and they're future vampires.
Oh, is it as good as Highlander 2?
Good is not the word you should use to describe the fourth and fifth Underworld movies,
or Highlander 2 for that matter.
Yeah,
and so it's Sophia Myles goes to Craven and narcs on Selene, going, guess what she did? She's being bad.
Yeah, she lied about not turning her in. She totally turns her in.
Yeah.
Because now she's getting Craven points.
And everybody's like, we're going to be in such trouble because now we're talking about how, you know, the council is coming in on the train any day now, and they're not going to be happy about any of these shenanigans.
And guess what? We see the train get attacked.
Well, I do want to put in one thing about them draining people and stuff like that. There is a one-off line that I wrote down, and I wish I had past me had been more specific. But there is a one-off line about how they're planning to make synthetic blood so they don't have to drink people. It's just kind of a throwaway, though.
Yeah, that's right. They do.
Well, she introduces it to Scott Speedman when she locks him into the chair that he's in for the entire second.
Right.
That's what it is. Right. That's where it comes from.
And she's telling him that, like, hey, you're a doctor.
Because that's right. He escapes, but then he comes back and they lock him up. And that's when she's going, here's this synthetic blood that it's still an R&D basically, right? Like it's still, it's not full, but that further adds, like, the movie in no way explores, wait a minute, does that mean the vampires are trying to get away from eating humans? And if so, why? And like,
I wish I could tell you.
Yeah, the movie, it's just sort of tossed in. That's what I mean. It's just kind of like they said it and I went, wait, what? And then I don't, once again, that's another thing that I don't remember being.
It's not a huge part of the plot. It is literally dropped in. I will say this.
But like,
there's a lot of points in this movie, including the very end, where they assumed, and rightfully so, but they assumed, they're like, yeah, we're going to have a sequel. It's just going to happen.
It does.
So they set a lot of stuff up, this world building that I know, again, Gorgone, you love. But all that world building is them going like, oh, we'll explore all this. You're going to see young Michael Sheen's character and all that backstory. We're going back to plague times and all that. They're basically saying like, hang in there, folks.
Sorry, I just like
we're doing a New Hope on you. We're talking about Clone Wars and shit. Don't you worry.
Gorgone, I just like the idea of Gorgone like poking his head into a writer's room, going, "Y'all building worlds in here?"
Yeah. Hey man, I was just down the hall getting a sandwich, but I think I heard you say something about world building.
Yeah,
but have you thought about the economic ramifications of the vampires owning a company that makes fake blood?
But do they own the World Bank?
And that's all stuff I think that it's less like the main focus, and yet better done in the Blade movies.
Yeah.
With the Fortune 500 CEOs, and they are making blood, and they're farming humans, they're cattle, all that stuff is.
But it is all leading to a terrible third film.
It is all leading to a terrible third film, but this is also leading to some terrible movies too.
Yep. Okay.
So.
Well played, sir.
There you go. So yes, the Vampire Council arrives on the train and are immediately ripped to pieces by Lycans.
Yep.
Right. Because Craven's men kind of let the people on the train know that it's all clear, only to, it's werewolves.
I want to get all these motherfucking Lycans off this motherfucking train.
This movie could have used some serious Samuel L. Jackson energy, no question.
I would have been there for it.
I would have loved that. Motherfucker, you don't need to tell me
We
about
know
no
that
Lycans.
that man looks good in a duster.
Oh, does he ever? Once again, see Secret Invasion.
I will. I can't wait for us to finish this so I can watch this week.
So yeah, they rip all the. What I love about this though is it is just like there's several scenes where like wait till the vampire council hears about this. The vampire council is on their way. Then they arrived and instantly slaughtered.
They're
like,
slaughtered.
Oh, okay. Well then I guess.
And that's an elder down. That's an elder down. They don't.
If the vampire council's arriving by train,
Yeah.
that implies that this is a more traditionally landlocked city that we find ourselves in.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Where are we? Where are they coming from? How far did they travel? Obviously a while because we were hearing about their inbound for a large chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
Or is the new wrinkle in this vampire mythology not that they can't cross running water, but they are afraid of planes?
we just don't think people or vampires were made to fly. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think it's just aesthetics. They're like trains are fancy.
Well, they're old. They're elders, so they're
true.
ancient. They need to be on an old form of transportation. That was
and it's of course
all
a
aesthetics.
gorgeous velvet lined Victorian.
Of course.
Even though we know this is a modern world that has subways and cars.
Yeah. So they get out of there. Then once again, switching sides once more, Sophia Myles is like, hey, they're going to come for Scott Speedman. You guys should get out of here before they put the vampire house on lockdown. Yeah. Whose side is this woman on?
Well, she explicitly says to Kate Beckinsale, she says, like, I'm not your friend. I'm helping me by letting you go.
Right.
Because she's trying to, like, use that as a way to get cozy to Craven and be like, oh, by the way, Craven, Selene's escaped. I'm the one who told you. Aren't you grateful?
Because that is the whole thing, right? Is that, as we've talked about, he wants Selene to be his vampire queen or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But she really wants to get with him, and it's just unfortunate that she's so ununattractive, so she really has to do something.
The problem is the movie really makes it clear that only Selene is attractive, and that's a shame.
It's just a huge bummer.
Sophia Myles, you're such a pretty lady.
Craven has such, like, weird obsessive energy towards Selene.
Yeah.
Like, what reason is there
I don't know.
for her to be the object of his obsession?
I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know.
I honestly think it's kind of this is the boss's daughter thing, because we know that, Victor thinks of her as his daughter to replace the old one.
By the way, the one he killed, like, that's how shitty. That's what a piece of shit Victor is. I don't like your boyfriend, so I'm gonna kill you. To his own daughter.
I don't. To be fair, again, he killed his own daughter because she was pregnant with his.
She was the
puppies.
abomination of the hybrid whatever, right? Like it's.
Oh, by the way, that was another thing in the lawsuit. They're like, in the Vampire the Masquerade universe, offspring between vampires and werewolves are called abominations. In the movie, they're called abominations.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
Yeah.
That's. That one's.
No, I think that's another one. It's like, yep.
Yeah, I mean,
plenty of other things you could have called them.
Sure. It's very similar to and nobody's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. The later seasons of Star Trek Enterprise with the human Vulcan babies that are a threat to the Federation, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, all right.
Moving on.
Yeah, and he's still trying to exert, like, Selene, you better get in line, girl. Even though it's, like, pretty clear what side she's already on, he still gets one more, like, hey, basically going, like, you're in big trouble.
Them.
Yeah, it's, hey, man, you got to pick a side here.
Yeah.
Oh, I did write down, she pulls... she pulls a kiss handcuff move on Speedman, which we've seen in a few movies where she kisses Scott Speedman only to distract him as she handcuffs him. And yes, as you're talking about,
that never fails.
He is basically there for much of the last third of the movie is him handcuffed to a wall.
Yep.
I'm trying to keep track of how many times Selene goes to and leaves the mansion, because it's more than I think.
It's a few times, and And even she's still doing it even when it's on quote unquote lockdown.
Right, because she brings the creepy little guy back to the mansion at one point.
Yeah, because he has to be killed by Nai, who's still hooked up to his blood hoses at that point.
Yeah, and again, props to the movie because they do a good job of the gradual progression where Victor is getting younger and healthier through the whole thing because he's getting blood, and basically this is how the elders replenish. So each time we see him, and that must have been a bitch for continuity, but they're moving him through these stages, so by the end he looks like Bill Nye with his hair slicked back,
you'd have to
nice
shoot,
robes, and he's dancing around.
You'd have to shoot the Nye stuff in chronological order, right? Like just for your own sanity, and luckily it's all pretty based in one location. So I do like the moment when he stands up off of his throne and he's walking with the hoses still attached to him.
Yeah.
It's a cool shot.
I love it.
That just looks cool. And Nye can deliver Gleep Glop like nobody's business.
Good Lord. And with emotion and intelligence, and he's selling us Gleep Glop.
He's making you go like, yeah, man, the fucking Lycan bloodline and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it. And then, I've always thought good enough actors, you can go like, yeah, and then as soon as the scene's over, go like, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, he nearly tricked me into believing that nonsense.
There's a lot of movies like that where I go like, wow, yeah, and then you're like, no, he didn't say anything, did he?
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, that was Jabber plus Jabber.
So yeah, she's back and forth from the thing, from the vampire house. The werewolf cops eventually catch Speedman.
Yeah, the werewolf cops are just undercover werewolves as cops, and they capture him because he was able to escape. No, she actually frees him. He tried to escape by shooting the chains.
That's why I brought up like how many times she actually like goes to and leaves.
Yeah.
Because eventually when she brings the creepy little guy back to Victor, that reveals Craven's duplicity. Craven makes a exit stage left.
Yeah.
And at that point, Victor's like, okay, Craven's the bad guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna round up our vampire posse. We're gonna go finally put an end to all this. But Selene, just a heads up,
wait.
you need to go kill this werewolf guy.
That's what I'm trademarking. Vampire Posse. That's the comic that
Ooh. But what drove me, what was kind of funny, and maybe they did intentionally, he tries to free himself by shooting the chains on his handcuffs. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Then she comes in and she does exactly the same thing, and it works.
Oh, because she left him with a gun expressly because she says, if you start to turn, shoot yourself with the silver bullet. It'll slow the process. It'll temporarily halt your transformation if you shoot yourself.
So is it the silver bullets are weaker, and that's why her bullets were able to penetrate his chains, but his wasn't?
I don't, maybe.
Well,
That's
it's also
the whole
that
thing.
Scott Speedman's literally never used a gun before, as far as we know.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's a chain. He puts the barrel against the chain.
The gun literally leaps out of his hand as soon as he pulls the trigger. Like, he's not even ready for the recoil of the thing.
I think it is.
I thought it was meant to highlight that the vampires can use guns good.
I just thought they should have just had
at
her
least
snap
at least
with
Selene
her
does.
vampire strength.
By the way,
because,
I think Selene might be the only vampire who actually kills any of the werewolves. The werewolves, once they get in on these vampires, pretty much decimate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, Victor kills one with his bare hands, so that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true. While, as we've talked about, Craven runs off, he confronts Michael Sheen, who has the little weird science guy has created the success. They know that Speedman's blood is what they need, and it works. But oh no, Craven has betrayed him and shoots Michael Sheen.
Shocking no one. Craven is a little weasel.
And then Michael Sheen proceeds to die for the next 25 minutes of the movie.
Yep.
And it is great, though.
Because the whole idea behind this, or at least what the vampires think the idea is, that like, okay, they're going to combine the vampire and werewolf DNAs into some kind of serum that then Lucian will inject into himself. And he does inject something, but it's not the complete thing he needs to become the ultimate like vampire werewolf
because he hangs on for a while because he gets shot a bunch of times, but then I do like when he stabs Craven in the leg with his
he
arm
pops
sword.
up like, I'm not dead yet, and gets him right through the leg.
Because I think the
great.
only reason he survives the silver nitrate bullets is because he's already injected himself with some of the super science
And
serum
it just
that
it
made
just
him more
allows
powerful.
Sheen to chew several more sets worth of scenery as he's
And he
Now
does it.
dying
You know what?
Lycan.
I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
I mean, the biggest bummer is that he and Nai die, and that they eventually do. The great thing is they eventually concoct a prequel so they can just be the main characters in something.
But essentially, Sheen doesn't really get to. He's not the final. Obviously, the thing is, leading up to Michael, man, they could have come up with a better name. But at least it does sound like I'm just a dude. Michael is transforming while he got abducted by the cops. He starts transforming. It's his first time, and she said, like, it's gonna hurt. Sorry, buddy, but he's in the backseat of the cop car, like, and he does escape, kills the werewolf guys, I guess, because when he shows up, he is in mid transformation, and what he's turning into is sexy blue vampire
because
wolf man.
Craven shoots Michael when he shows up.
Yep.
Yes.
And presumably kills him. But then we're in minute 15 of Michael Sheen dying. So he pops up and stabs Craven.
I do like
and he turns to
Craven's-
Selene and says, bite him! Complete the circle!
Yes, that's
For
it.
it
Yes,
is
bite him.
as
That's it.
foretold. I mean, it might as well be. No, the thing I do like about when Craven shoots Speedman though is that he goes, "Okay, look, I've shot your boyfriend. All right, now I
Okay,
know
look.
that's going to be tough, but in the long run, you're going to see I was right." Like it's. He's still
It hurts now.
he just shot the guy she loves, and he's still trying to win her over though, and go like, "Yeah, but it's gonna work out. You and I are gonna be together."
Ugh.
That's a big problem for Craven. Is his obsession with her really harms his ascension to the throne. So you get I mean, at this point, I am just writing stuff like lots of shooting. Oh, there is a vampire who has silver whips that attacks a werewolf.
That guy
Shows off. That's him squaring off against.
And that's another one though.
Rays.
Yeah, but doesn't work.
Screenwriter.
He introduces like, "Yeah, I've got these sweet werewolf killing with. Oh shit, I'm dead."
Yeah,
Well, because
Rays
his-
is frozen through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
his tragic mistake is, what if I can't whip with my whip and it gets stuck on a piece of concrete?
Yeah,
Man, it is because
and what if the guy I'm fighting is literally the size of a mouse?
well, because the movie introduces the guy with the whips like, "Oh shit," and then he's done. It's very, once again, but not in a way that like I would like that if the movie actually played that as a joke. But there's once again not an ounce of humor in this thing.
No.
Also-
They're taking it all very seriously.
Yeah, it's
Dual
a very,
wielding
very-
whips is just so impractical. You lose your dexterity bonus on the offhand.
Oh Jesus.
unless you electrify them. Talk to Mickey Rourke.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there you
true.
go.
Yeah, he knows a thing
You
or
didn't
two.
factor in whiplash.
No one ever does,
No one ever
No
does.
one ever
yeah.
does.
and no one ever factors in his board. My board.
Yeah. I want my body.
Yeah.
You get my body.
That is an objectively bad accent that totally works for a superhero movie for me.
Uh-huh.
Yep,
I bought it.
That is what I expect a Russian to sound like in an Iron Man movie.
I like a guy with dreads and tiny little granny glasses.
Because it's in this confrontation that Craven finally reveals to Selene, like, look, your big Papa vampire Victor, he's the one who killed your family before he turned
wasn't
you into
like
a
it.
vampire.
Man,
Yeah, it was him.
when he said that, I went, were we not supposed to realize that? Like, that's a reveal? Because it's basically just like, well, my family was massacred, and then Bill Nye showed up and turned me into a vampire. I just immediately went, so obviously he did the killing of the family, right? But they
Except
play
for
it like,
they
no!
clearly said the Lycans were attacking, and I mean, in other words, she does say that's what she believes.
Oh, that's what she believes, but it's just like, it's another thing where it's like, reveals or mysteries in this movie are pretty obvious. And just like, and also
and
kind of
you're
like,
just a smarty pants.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
pants are
Well,
incredibly intelligent.
and I'm
John.
somebody who usually is like, a movie doesn't have to actively fool me to still be well written, but it's all just kind of like, and just the way this is done, it's just like, oh yeah, no, he killed your family. Let's get to the end of this movie, please.
Yep.
Well, and also, like, why would she believe anything Craven is saying at this point?
This guy's
and
been-
why would Bill Nye confirm what he said after?
A lot of people start doing stuff in the third act of this movie just to get to the end of this movie.
Sure,
right?
yeah. Like, we want our werewolf vampire Super Saiyan fight, right?
And it is cool. And Bill Nye's death fucking rules. It's so good.
It does boil down to, at the end, Selene and her boyfriend, who, again, the makeup's awesome.
Looks great, man.
And it is very superhero-y. And you've got the flamboyant villain in the robes. And it is elder vampire versus hybrid versus vampire lady.
And there's lots of
you betrayed me. I loved you like a father.
There's lots of Matrix flipping around here. Lots of shots where they have her doing those Trinity wow.
Yeah. The last shot of Selene like leaping up with the sword is such the first shot of Trinity kicking those cops in the Matrix.
But I do like the reveal then where you're like, oh no, wait, did she not get him?
I liked this movie better than The Matrix.
All right.
That's a bold stance.
That's the last time Brendan Jones appears on one of these podcasts. That's it for him.
It's a joke. I went with a funny. Yeah. Anyway.
I make another funny.
I make another joke with my bird.
Yeah, my bird. My bird he writes all my jokes.
He's not my bird.
Yeah.
Go get my bird.
Man, talk about a movie that has a lot of jokes.
Funny.
Very funny movie. But I do like the moment. Yeah, she does the flip over him. You're like, what happened? Because he's still standing there, and then his head just slides off because she cut it in half. It's so cool, good. Man. That is what that is what for the level of movie this is. I go, yeah. There was some boring exposition, but that was rad. Like
that was worth getting the large popcorn instead of the small.
Yeah.
It would be cooler if Blade 2 didn't basically do the exact same thing.
Well, Blade 2 does the even cooler thing where he split him lengthwise in half. Everything in this movie is done cooler in Blade movies. There are moments even in the piece of shit Blade Trinity that will be cooler than this movie. Individual like action beats. Those are just better made action films. I mean, a lot of that has to do with having Wesley Snipes there to choreograph stuff because he actually knows martial. Like all the action in these is a lot of just like most of the action in this movie boils down to just unloading guns at people. Like
how fast can we get the slide on a handgun to move backwards?
Well, that I will say that is the thing when she does not have extended magazines on those Beretta 9s that she's firing, even though they're at full auto. So those would be out in a second.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Those Beretta M9s, man. Yeah.
Like obviously Selene needs to get the kill on Victor at the end here
to
avenge her family.
I have the same point though.
But the fact that Michael Corvin, who up till this point in the movie has kind of been the Freddy, right? The just like pretty looking guy who's just kind of there.
Thank you for using the show's terminology. Because they didn't do any
character work with this guy, as we keep saying. There's no character.
I listened to the show. I was
going to say, you know from Freddy's.
You know from Freddy's.
There you go.
But that's the twist of this movie, right? Is like the Freddy becomes the ultimate hybrid monster.
That's a cool idea.
Needs to be the guy.
That's a cool idea.
And so when he shows up at the end and is moving so fast that like it looks like he's teleporting basically. Like why he wouldn't get the kill on Victor like makes less
he should have
narrative sense, and like Selene getting the kill makes more thematic sense.
He should have at least got. Does he get the kill on Craven? How does Craven go out? Or does he get away?
Jesus, I don't even remember.
No, he doesn't get away.
Where does he
die? No, because Michael Sheen stabs him in the leg.
He stabs him in the leg. That doesn't kill him, though.
I don't remember how he dies. I just know he's gone by this point.
Lots of shooting. Sheen stabs. Tell Selene. Leader kills Sheen.
Hey, folks, write in if you know what happened to Craven at the end
I don't think he dies.
Come on, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not a good sign that this character who's like
I think he just runs away. Yeah.
Second most important villain.
Well, because
disappears in the movie.
I think he might. I think he might come back in the next movie.
I'm pretty sure he's in the sequel. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard what you did to Victor. That sucks.
I'm scrubbing through the movie right now. He does just like turn around and run away, and in the last like 15 minutes is the Michael Victor fight, and he never shows back up.
Yeah, he does. The reason we don't remember what happens to him is because he just disappears from the movie.
He literally turns around and walks out of the movie.
You do get that moment when Michael at full hybrid mode is standing there growling and grimacing, and all the vampires back away like, whoa, no, man, I don't think so. And so so they back away. And then I guess they're going to be a hot vampire and vampire-Lycan hybrid couple. But you guys, wait a minute. Let's go back to that dead, weird scientist who had his face sliced apart by Bill Nye because his blood is pouring into one of the other resting places of an elder.
And to Marcus's.
Oh,
Marcus
no.
was supposed to be the one that was awakened this go-round.
Who will be our central villain come Underworld Evolution.
And
Marcus
as
was
we
the elder that was bitten by the bat. He was the original vampire dude, right?
No, he's not the original vampire, but he is like a direct descendant of the Corvinus line.
Yeah. So we're gonna get that throwdown in the next movie.
Oof, I'm not even ready.
We're gonna get Tony Curran from.
Guys, give me a couple weeks, okay?
Well,
it's
gonna be a few weeks. That's Tony Curran, who people would know from. Was he on Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know. By name, I don't know who we're talking about.
He's a red-headed guy. You've seen him in a billion things.
Sure, that guy.
He was probably like most well known for being Vincent Van Gogh in an episode of Doctor Who.
Yes.
Oh, that's him.
Yes.
Oh, he's great.
Yes.
And he's also in Secret Invasion.
He is in Secret Invasion, is right. I don't think he was on Game of Thrones. I think I just assume every British, Irish, or Scottish actor was on Game of Thrones.
Think of the other red-haired, bearded guy from Game of Thrones who was one of the wildlings.
Yeah. That guy looks similar, and he does. He's the bad guy. He's one of the bad guys in Fate of the Furious.
Good actor, but
yeah. Anyway, so that's where we leave it. That's our cliffhanger. Oh no, their happiness will only last so long because this guy's gonna come back and be an asshole. Yeah.
And he's drank some werewolf blood, so now his eyes are weird.
No.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. That's gonna be a nightmare. Oh man.
Can't be good.
Oh boy. I'm real worried for our friends here in the Underworld.
Will Selene and Michael never know happiness and peace?
Man.
So
not to spoil too much, but no.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. Thanks.
Do you guys? Here's a good question. Do you recommend people watch this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, that's a given. Yeah, I don't know that I like hardly recommend it, but I wouldn't say avoid it either. I'm like, if any of the aesthetics of this interest you, yeah, go ahead.
I will say it is basically boils down to, do you want a more action centric supernatural movie that is basically the Matrix with vampires and werewolves? Then you'll enjoy it.
This is something that you kind of got, like, you can kind of passively watch this, right? Like, it's mostly about.
Oh, I did kind of drift in and out because it is long.
It's long, and I will say I don't think any of the other ones reach 2 hours, and they shouldn't.
Well, and John, not to cross the streams too hard, but like over on the action shelf, this would be a hard recommendation, right?
Yep. 100%. And I think, if you're looking for the action of this, it'll if you want to do the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, if you got your action movie in my horror movie, this kind of works. And like I said, if you go in expecting just a fun time, you'll have it. I do think this movie is objectively fun. I think when it gets a little big for its britches on some of the like mythology stuff, it just doesn't land. It's just not there. But I think it's a good time. I think I didn't hate watching it by any means. I enjoy it, and I remember liking the second one as well.
In terms of like monster mash movies, I think this one leans more into the action. I think it's not as concerned with the fact that these characters are monsters and more just using that as a general pastiche.
That's it.
Yeah. It doesn't really deliver on scares in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, all right. I agree. I think this one, and especially in comparison to the rest of the franchise, definitely watch this one. Gorgone, you're coming back very soon, not next week, but just 1 week after, to talk about Blade Trinity, which you insisted on doing as well.
I did. I have a soft spot for that movie. I'll be back for a bunch of shitty movies in the near future.
I just don't understand your picks, man.
Hate that movie so much, but with a burning passion. But next week we're getting a different sequel, Brendan. We're returning to the world of Ginger Snaps.
Oh wow! It's been a while.
It's Ginger Snaps 2: Unleashed.
Okay.
I didn't realize you were covering the Gingerbread Man franchise.
Oh yeah, we're
run as fast as he can.
Yeah, those are big.
You've got it all wrong. You've got it all.
No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Ginger Snaps, I look forward to returning because again, it's a interesting twist.
I don't know that I've ever seen the sequels to it. I really like the first movie, and we spoke highly of the first movie when we did it on here. So it's a very fun take on sort of the coming of age maturity story, but with a werewolf twist. So
it was the much more violent and darker take of Buffy. The way Buffy would say, let's use monster mythology as an analogy for something that we all go through. And I thought on that level, it totally works.
Yeah, it's real, the horror of puberty, right?
Yeah,
with the using the monster stuff, really good. So
I've never. Is this Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed or Ginger Snaps Back?
It's Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. Ginger Snaps Back is the third movie, but is also a prequel, much like the Underworld franchise.
I was confused because they were both released in the same year.
Yeah.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. So we'll get around to those, but yeah, Gorgone, you'll drop out for that, and then come right back for Blade Trinity, which, for the love of God, I really... Are
y'all ready for seeing Triple H as a vampire? Because I am.
I will say that's not necessarily one of my problems with it per se. But
it's his grill. That's the problem.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I don't like that. Anyway, that'll be.
This is bringing it back because I literally have not seen it since it was in the.
It's theater. Really bad. I think I don't own it anymore. I used to have it, but I think I upgraded to the 4Ks and just bought the first two individually. But next week on the show, it's Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. Gorgone, as always, thank you for coming on. Of course, you can hear Mike Gorgone every week on May the Panel Be With You, which is him and myself talking about old Star Wars comics and some newer Star Wars comics. Here and there, and of course every week doing your live play D&D show, Material Components.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Like, I know I'm in for the long haul here with these Underworld movies, and it's gonna be a journey, and I thank you for walking that path with me.
And it is a dark and rainy path.
You're gonna be consistently doing the Underworld movies, and then a smattering of other bizarre, seemingly, I think mostly Dracula takes.
Dracula 3000, let's go.
Yeah, that's that's right around the corner too. So, but that is going to do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
And rain. Lots of rain.